Welcome into Sports Time on a Fight Song Friday, a game day for the University of Memphis Tigers as, Brett, we're only 3 hours away from kickoff between the Tigers and Tulane tonight at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studios on this Fight Song Friday. And, Brett, how you feeling today?
I feel really good, much anticipated. It has been since the summertime. Well, the Tigers are right where the most optimistic of us, and so many were optimistic.
Absolutely.
This was not one of those summers. I was the outlier last year and I missed badly. Last year I was 9-3. It was really, really close. You know what close gets you? Not jack.
Not much.
Not anything. It gets you a lot of disappointment, and it may be the worst feeling out there in fandom today.
Okay.
Is we're close.
Yeah.
That's hard to overcome because you see so many others over here, and Tulane going to the Cotton Bowl and winning it. Tigers went to the Cotton Bowl, and it's still worth a lot to talk about. But you see your neighbors doing so well.
Yeah.
And darn it, we want to be part of that, and that's the feeling out there. You know, the other side of kind of being on the outs is getting hammered. Well, we know what happens then. You make a lot of changes, and some of them often are rash and probably not well thought out, and it leads to 3 or 4 other problems, like firing Tommy West and hiring Larry Porter. That's been adjudicated. I'm not trying to do that today. Today's not the day for that. There's not any day left for that. No, it's been done.
Absolutely.
But tonight's a really great opportunity for the Memphis Tigers in front of, I hope, a good crowd. I don't know how many MUS and Christian Brothers will take, but it takes some.
Sure does. Yeah, I mean that's a big game, and
high school football around town takes some.
Sure, but I think a really good factor for this game being on this Friday night in particular, and I didn't even think about it until Dave brought it up with me this morning when I was on with him. Obviously, MUS CBHS is a massive game, but outside of the private schools, no public schools are really going tonight because this week is fall break. So
fall break. You know what my fall break was? This is how old I am.
Okay.
Old man moment of the day. You ready?
I'm ready.
Here was fall break. Thursday of Thanksgiving and the Friday afterwards.
Yeah, well, now they get an entire week of fall break. But so hopefully you don't have to go up against much high school football tonight. Hopefully people got out of town. Maybe you're getting back in time to go to this game tonight. So I think it will be a really, really good crowd. I know this morning when I was talking to Dave,
that's a good point. He
said about he's thinking it'll be about 35 to 38 or so, which I think would be a really good crowd.
I think that's pretty good.
I hope, and the Tigers are going to need it because I think this is going to be a really back and forth game. I keep referring to
12th man, step up.
Yeah, I keep referencing Dave, but he brought it this morning.
Well, he's a good Tigers reference.
Sure is, and he had a bunch of numbers, kind of comparing the two teams, and two very similar teams in terms of their schedule, in terms of what they have done on the field. So I think it's going to be a good game, and this is a great opportunity for this fan base in a home game on a Friday night on ESPN to really give them that extra push.
I heard Laird Veach on with Greg and Eli this morning. I got to visit with him last week in Dave's time last Thursday, so it's been the big push for this game tonight, and I hope it all works out. We know it's the inside path to hosting the AAC championship game, and at minimum, you're probably in it. Bryant, how bad do you think? I talk about the close being one of the worst things. How bad do you think Braves fans feel today?
Oh man!
And I am not here to rub it in.
No, not at all.
At all. I'm sympathizing with you.
Absolutely. No, that was brutal last night. I mean, base runners everywhere for the Braves late in that game. But just couldn't get it done.
Little League broke out. Center fielder just stuck his hand up and the ball found his glove.
Yeah, so
I know the feeling.
Yeah, I know.
We lost the Little League World Series when I was 12.
Yikes.
Not on a play like that. It was a blooper over the third baseman's head. He goes back almost like Willie Mays on that famous catch and just stuck it. We had the runner on third had already crossed. The runner on second was about to cross. I was on first, and he just stuck his glove up and he found it. His dad was so happy after the game. His dad was giving money away. He was.
That's great.
All our team was over there in line. We had just lost. Everybody's crying. We're over in line getting money from the kid's dad that had caught the ball.
Good Lord. Oh, Brett, you don't want to start talking about Little League baseball stories.
Crushers?
I have plenty of stories from when I played competitive baseball. My coach, I still talk to him. He listens in occasionally, very often. So he's a great coach, great man. But some of those stories.
Give him a shout out,
Coach Paul, and his wife Ellen. They listen a lot, and plenty of stories about things that happened on the baseball diamond.
You never forget the losses, do you?
No.
And this one's going to stick.
This
with
one's going to sting.
For a long time.
And for the Braves, next season they open up in Philly. So I mean, they can't get rid of the Phillies.
It might be a ring ceremony.
It might be a ring ceremony. And
8 to go for the Phillies.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah,
that's right. But I didn't want to say it before this series is over. But I can claim the Phillies are made for the postseason after beating the Braves yet again.
All right, now explain to me what that means.
I don't know.
It means they're advancing.
It means they're going deep. Yeah, I mean,
tell me I'm wrong.
They're getting through 2 rounds.
We got to make a pick for Sunday.
Jeez, we do, don't we? Good
ALCS,
Lord.
Texas or Houston?
Oh, my goodness. Well, this is just fueled by hatred. I'm going to go with Texas, but it's just because I hate the Astros.
I'm taking Texas as well, and I'm for Texas only because they've never won it. They're the only one of the 4 that hadn't won it. In fact, the other 3 all have won it in this 21st century, with the Phillies winning it in 2008, Arizona way back in 2001 with all the emotion against the Yankees of that fall of 9/11, and in Houston last year and the controversial one. So I take Texas. You take Texas. You are 4-4 on these playoff picks on who will advance. I'm 1-7.
Well, hey, Brett, I don't know if this is poking the bear. I mean this in as nice as I can. You got the one up there.
A bear in the wild could pick as well as 1-7.
Well, for a little bit there, we didn't have a 1 up there, so it is good to have something in the win column at least.
Houston, my only win, but I mentioned this 21st century. If the Rangers win it, that will be the 16th different team from baseball. That's out of 30. Wow. 16th different one to win it in the 21st century. Wow. I can remember when we had people around town, there's no need to even go to spring training. Everybody knows who's going to win. Also the same bunch of dopes always talk about college football and the cartel and the hegemony of college football, like other people don't know what hegemony means.
That's right.
And the main caste system. Baseball right now has had more different winners than any other sport of Major League Baseball, NBA, NFL, college football, college basketball. They're at 15. Second, a tie for second, T2. College basketball at 13 and the NFL at 13. Next, college football, 12. And the last one, the one, again, that all the cool kids think so even and so perfect and just nothing ever wrong with the association, it's dead last at 11. It's the caste system. It's the hegemony.
Absolutely.
It's the cartel.
Jeez.
Well, and that's with a new winner with Denver this last spring.
It is with
this last June.
Yeah, I mean, I did
that
not.
Bunch of dopes.
I did not think it was that high in baseball, but you're right. I mean, it's.
What if it goes to 16? That, simple math, over half. It's half now.
Sure is.
16 out of 30 would be. I mean, that would be something, and that's the
should
sport.
Should have saved that for your big number today.
I really should. That's the sport with no salary cap. Yeah. I mean, it's the strong survive. You eat what you kill.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, that really is incredible. And it just kind of shows you, even though there's this argument, and even more now, I guess you could say, this argument of the way baseball is played, Major League Baseball, with no salary cap, and there's no limit on how much money you can spend on players.
Scouting.
And so there is scouting, and there's this conversation about, well, you've got the Dodgers, you've got the Yankees, now you've got the Braves, you've got kind of this upper echelons of teams that are going to get the star players, and the Mets, throw the Mets in there. You're going to get those star players. They're going to have the best players on the field. But we're seeing that number explains it, and just seeing who's left in the postseason right now shows you that we're to a point where that doesn't matter anymore. You can have all the top players.
Smart things.
Exactly.
And you have to have some luck, like just sticking your glove up and the ball finding it.
I was really nervous last night.
And on the pass ball, what are you doing, man? You got to be standing on home plate.
Absolutely. But I was worried last night. I think it was either the 7th or 8th inning when Bryce Harper, obviously playing first because he had Tommy John surgery in the offseason, so he's playing first base. That arm is still not completely healed, that right arm, and so he's covering first, trying to kind of like reach out and make a grab, and so he has his right arm kind of hanging out there, and I forgot who was running to first at the time, but runs into his elbow. Very unintentional.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like he was trying to do it, but it just happened, and immediately Bryce Harper throws his glove down and just starts holding his arm, and I thought we were in serious trouble with Bryce Harper.
It might be rotating.
But he was back out there the next inning, so it looks like all is fine. But, I mean, they were standing out there for, like, what, Brett, 5 or so minutes after the end, and that was supposed to be the end of the inning. They're standing out there for about 5 minutes or so, just kind of seeing if he was all right, trying to check him out before everybody went to the dugout. It was a little scary.
I know everyone's not the baseball fans we are. I'm not trying to convert you. I left the conversion business on baseball a long time ago.
I've been converting Johnny in here. He's been watching baseball.
We're working on Johnny.
He's a baseball guy now.
And Johnny, we need you as a Cardinal fan.
Johnny, can I call you a baseball guy now?
Yes, you can.
Can I say you're a Cardinal? Are you a Cardinal fan? I don't know. He's been watching the Braves. He might like
Johnny,
the Braves.
Johnny, have you heartbroken like that with
you are going to have the heartbroken.
You're signing up for that one. Be careful here. This is a big decision.
That's very true. I mean, this decision sticks with you for life. Unless you're me, and then you can pick the Rangers and then switch and pick a new team. So we won't make you say it today, but
we'll
by Monday.
We'll give you to spring opening day
next
year.
Brett's a little nicer than I am. I want an answer by Monday. We'll give you till opening day next year.
Brian's rough, isn't he?
I am.
I'll give to opening day next year. No, it's going to be Texas and Houston in the ALCS. They've never met in the playoffs. That takes to 8 different teams the Rangers will have faced in playoffs, postseason, World Series or otherwise. For Houston, it takes it up to 17. For them, they only lack running into Baltimore, Toronto, Detroit, and the Angels of having the American League completed. And remember, all those years they were in the National League. Philadelphia and Arizona, first time for them to ever meet in the postseason. It takes to 9 for Arizona, and it takes for the Phillies 17. They only lack the Mets, Washington, Cubs, and Pittsburgh to see in a postseason. And now all these rounds of postseason, they can knock out a lot of that in 1 year.
Yeah, I mean they really could. I was talking about something either earlier today or yesterday, and it was some sort of stat or something, maybe about the Phillies, I think it was the Phillies, and it was some stat of like, it's the first time they've done this, or it's the first time a team has done this in X amount of years, or it's the first time ever they've done this. And it was something about like the amount of games being played was impacting that. And I was like, I mean, this stat's cool and all, but like, we're playing more games in the postseason now. Like, it's not surprising
it's the Bryce Harper number.
Yes, it is.
Now, when we get to World Series, that's not changing because the most games you can get 7. And way back in Shoeless Joe and all that, it was 9, but we're never going back to a best of 9. So the World Series numbers, like Yogi Berra's RBI and Yogi Berra's appearances, 14, 110 of them. You think
crazy.
That ever gets challenged?
No chance.
So they're a little more sacrosanct than just the postseason number. Kind of the same things happening a little bit in the NFL with these rounds of playoffs that we have now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and so I mean they're cool. Like I said, they're great numbers. I'm glad that it's something interesting you can hold on to from these games. But
the Philadelphia crowd,
it's unbelievable.
I almost texted you last night. I did a couple of Cardinal friends.
You should have.
I take no pride in it. You didn't think I could bring up the Cardinals today, did you?
No, I didn't.
I don't think we rock like that at Busch Stadium.
I don't think so either. Now I haven't been to Busch Stadium in a long time.
I think old Busch Stadium we did. You watch on TV though.
Absolutely.
I just don't think. I mean, that Philly crowd
was incredible.
is it 10th or 11th man with DH and pitcher? Would that be 11th man?
I guess 11th man, 12th man maybe. I don't know.
I don't know how many people are playing in baseball anymore. What happened?
Do we need to add in the relief or the relief pitchers, the bullpen?
Holders.
We need to add them. I mean, good Lord, yeah. A lot of people. 26th man.
It gave the Phillies an advantage.
It sure did.
And that crowd sensed it last night.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time to get it done. Get it done tonight.
Get it done tonight. Get it done in Philadelphia, and they did it. Look, I'm telling you right now, I do not want to be an opposing team, no matter if it's the T-backs, no matter if it's the winner of Texas and Houston, and have to go into an environment like Philadelphia.
Philly's got a reputation for a reason.
They sure do. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Alan Bell from CBS Digital, also the executive producer for the Early Edge, will join us. We'll do some wagering with him. We'll get to some of the college football games for this week, and we'll also get to some NFL games for Sunday. 3:45, we'll talk a little bit about Tigers versus Tulane tonight. We're counting down the minutes, counting down the hours to kick off at 6 p.m. on ESPN. We'll also take a look at the schedule in the American Athletic Conference before we wrap up our first hour. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BamSports.net will join us. We'll do some more wagering with him, get his thoughts on a lot of these college football games and some NFL games. 4:30, we'll get into the SEC, that slate for this weekend. We also have to get to our football bingo card for the weekend. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas will join us to talk about the Razorbacks and the SEC. Arkansas, a big game this weekend in Tuscaloosa against Alabama. He's right there in it. And,
I think a Bryant Museum tour this morning.
Really? So, I mean, he's locked in not only in Tuscaloosa, but he's got the pulse of the fan base in Arkansas. So really interested to get his thoughts on Arkansas in that game this weekend against Alabama. 5:30, we'll get to our first National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast. Now, 5:45, we'll wrap up the day, we'll wrap up the week with Taco Bell Crunch Time. But let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The world's biggest spa sale, it's back and better than ever. 50 different models to choose from, 5 different manufacturers, up to 30% off in-stock spas and swim spas. Free upgrades on all in-stock spas, and the 24-month same as cash, it's still available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian, I'm Brett. Johnny Hill also with us. Tulane fans in town, welcome to town. People already gathering at Tiger Lane. Hope you're having fun, and it is building to a big night. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-334-9673. Great offers on all 2023 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at the only Lexus dealership in town. That's Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2023 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day is tonight's matchup between Tulane and Memphis. Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. In about 2.5 hours, we'll have the first kick on ESPN, but I'm hoping everybody listening is either making their way or getting ready to make their way down to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium to give an environment that helps the Tigers tonight. And really, a matchup we've been talking about all week, a matchup we've been talking about all year, even back to the summer when we first saw
football conversation. We talked about Friday the 13th.
We have been talking about this game, and it's going to be a big one. Both teams have done what they've needed to do so far. I think everyone thought Memphis should win the games around Tulane, maybe, but before Tulane, outside of that Missouri game, some people had to win, some people had a loss. Maybe some people had a win or a loss for Boise State, but you were hoping to get to Tulane, you would either have 1 loss or 0 losses. On the other side for Tulane, you were hoping that up until the Memphis week, they would get their job done with all of their opponents, maybe outside of Ole Miss, and that's exactly what they did. Both teams come into this game with 1 loss, both of those losses coming to an SEC opponent. I think it's going to be a very close game, but for the Tigers, you got to have a fast start. We've been talking about it all season. I do not think you can dig yourself into a 17-0 hole like you did last week against Memphis. But I'm sure if you go down to New Orleans and listen to some of the stations that are talking about this game today, they would probably say the same thing, because last time Tulane was out there, they dug themselves into a hole against UAB. So I think both teams are going to come out wanting for a fast start. This run defense we've talked about a lot for Tulane. It's going to be fierce. They're going to do everything that they possibly can to hold Blake Watson in check. So this might come down to Seth Hennigan, Rock Taylor, and those receivers to have a big game offensively. This defense, we know what they need to do. They need to slow down Michael Pratt. They need to stop those big passes. A couple of those passes got over their heads 2 weeks ago against Boise State for big, 50-plus yard gains. You really cannot have that tonight against Michael Pratt. Make them earn it.
Drive the field.
Absolutely. It should be a great game, and I'm really looking forward to 6 o'clock tonight.
It'll be more the conversation next week. But you know who's offensive coordinator at UAB? Son of Chris Mortensen, Alex Mortensen.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
From the Bama analyst room, and now offensive coordinator, and a bright coaching future ahead of him. My top story, a chance tonight with a win for the hometown team to re-energize the hometown. The Memphis Tigers can do that with a win tonight. I don't know why it's not already re-energized, but tonight will really do it. And the fans and the team, it's been through a lot since COVID. We know all that, and the Cotton Bowl back before that. We know the challenges, but people say they want to see a winner. What's a winner? Tonight's a chance for it to be verified, certified. Big game for Ryan Silverfield. Big game for people that think the Tigers can have a real bright future this year, and I think they can as well. So we got to have fans out there, and the Tiger football team's got to cash it in.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day is the college football slate, not only for this weekend, but for tonight. I mean, we just both got done talking about this game tonight between Tulane and Memphis. ESPN on 6 o'clock. Brett, right after that game on ESPN, Colorado hosting Stanford. So a great night for ESPN, but also when you go to that slate of games tomorrow, Brett, I was salivating earlier when I saw the 11 o'clock slate tomorrow morning. Now, they all should, keyword should, be blowouts. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Michigan. Number 3, Ohio State. Number 4, Florida State, all in action in that 11 o'clock window. When you go further, we've talked, and we will.
Arkansas.
Bama, Arkansas later. We've been kind of building up these SEC games all week. I know a little bit later in the show we'll talk these SEC games, but these ranked matchups also tomorrow night. USC, Notre Dame, Miami, North Carolina, UCLA, Oregon State. Then you put that with Missouri, Kentucky, Alabama, Arkansas, like you said, Texas A&M, Tennessee. While all of these might not be what we had 3 weeks ago when it was like 17 top 25 versus top 25 games, these are going to be really, really fun games to watch. And also, these games are going to be massive when we start talking about conference championship games, who can make it into the college football playoffs, who can make it in these championship games. These games are going to help determine the end of the season.
And tomorrow for me, Rhodes and Sewanee.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
Looking forward to it. My not top story, USC at Notre Dame. USC tries to get back to prominence. They're real good. Got a Heisman Trophy winner, but they know they've got to win it all to get back to the Pete Carroll, John Robinson, Coach McKay level of prominence. But no defense. And with that defense, I don't think any playoffs and no real championship level relevance. Notre Dame, last Heisman Trophy winner for Notre Dame, Tim Brown. That was in Lou Holtz's second year at Notre Dame. Last national championship season for Notre Dame, it was in Coach Lou Holtz's third year, 1988. Next year will be the third year for Marcus Freeman. It's not a real fair comparison to Marcus Freeman entering his third year over Lou Holtz because how the college football scene has changed. Back then, in the 80s, this is hard for people to believe it, but in the late 80s, SEC was good, but it was just good. That was it. Other than Georgia winning it in 1980, there was not another national champion in the SEC. And now Kirby Smart and Nick Saban, and with NIL, the SEC's signing players that used to would go to Notre Dame. I don't know that Rocket Ishmael goes to Notre Dame now. He probably goes to Penn State. I don't know that the good quarterback in 1988. I can't recall his name right now. He was from South Carolina. Tony, I don't know. I don't know that he goes.
Wow.
He probably goes to Clemson or South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They signed the number one tight end in the country in that stretch from Merritt Island, Florida, in the day. He didn't go to Notre. He didn't leave that warm weather to go to Notre Dame now. So it's not fair to compare Marcus Freeman entering year 3, but Lou Holtz did get it done in year 3, and it feels like it's a while before Notre Dame wins it again.
It sure does. It does feel that way, but that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Text in what you think about tonight's game, Memphis versus Tulane. What you think the Tigers need to do for a win. Your score for tonight's game, who wins tonight between Tulane and Memphis. Let us know, 901-360-8255. But let's go ahead and get to our first break of the day. When we come back, we'll talk some wagering with Alan Bell.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information. If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos and enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert. For the best quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choate's will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choate's, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Sports 56 Traffic.
Good afternoon. They're still trying to take care of this stalled truck out here on Bill Morris Parkway going outbound. That's eastbound near Riverdale. The police fire still on scene of an earlier wreck. They're trying to clean it up right now at South 3rd at Brooks Road. That's been shut down for a while on that terrible looking crash again that happened earlier here in Memphis on South 3rd Street at Brooks. We already had a crash maybe about 30 minutes ago on 55 northbound at South Parkway. Starting to pick up out here on all the major outbound routes. Give yourself extra time. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. They're back open. Go by and see them this weekend. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Let's make some money. It's time for Wagering Talk with Alan Bell from CBS Sports. Alan is the executive producer of Early Edge, part of CBS Sports Digital, and on Twitter X at Alan G. Bell. Here's Alan with Bryant and Brett.
Alan Bell joining us now to talk some wagering. From CBS Digital, also the executive producer for the Early Edge. Alan, thanks so much for joining us. Here in Memphis, we're all excited. I can feel the energy rising by the minutes because tonight at 6 o'clock, Memphis takes on Tulane at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. So, Alan, I want to start there with this game tonight, Memphis versus Tulane. I think I've seen that line hovering at about Tulane -4. What do you like in this one for the Tigers?
So you have me back. And yeah, look, I think the smartest bet is to take the over. I think it sits around 54.5 right now. You're going to see two offenses, obviously, that can score. And you're going to see two pretty good football teams here, right? I would also say take Memphis. You can get them 4, 4.5, even 5, depending on which book you are using. But yeah, I think the smartest bet is to just go ahead and take the over and have fun. Because this is going to be a heck of a game, man. I can't wait to watch it as well.
I think it will be, too. And Alan, congratulations on retirement. I just saw on your Twitter where Twitter X has put in $10.73 into your account from X Ads revenue sharing, and you said you've started filling out retirement papers.
Good
Congratulations.
Yeah, you know what? I appreciate that, fellas. And you know what? You can't hide generational money.
Huh,
right.
You can't.
Now, let me say this. What we're going to do is we're going to take that, and I'm going to give you one real quick. The Iowa Hawkeyes, all right?
We're going to take that cash
We're
and
gonna
bet
flip
with
it.
it.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, fast money is going right back at it. We're going to try to double that up. Iowa, Wisconsin, take the over in this game. It is a gift from the books. Iowa's offense, I know it sounds crazy, but this new quarterback, he can play. He's a sick boy, but he can play, man. Take the over now.
Iowa, Wisconsin over. Iowa very rarely mentioned in the same sentence with the word over.
Oh, they always beg you to take the under.
Hey, well, that Kirk Ferentz defense, man. Look, our man
right.
is Bill Belichick of college football, but he's got an offense now, I'm telling you, man. It's a gift.
And that over and under sits at around 34.5, over 34.5.
And remember, the Iowa coaching staff legitimately gets paid by scoring points.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
They're very incentivized.
Need to average 25 points. So
by
we need
scoring
them.
points.
Yeah.
Tomorrow in Knoxville, this is a real kind of fork in the road game. The defeated team out of this game tomorrow, the disengaged factor could really set in. For A&M, it'll be a third loss. For Tennessee, it would be a second. On CPS, Tennessee favored 3 at Neyland. A, are you going? B, who do you like?
I will not be going, although I wish that I were. It would be a lot of fun because it's going to be a good game. I'm going to take Tennessee here, all right, and for a couple reasons. One, this is the Alabama sandwich game, all right? A&M played Bama last week. Tennessee plays Bama next week. Now, teams after playing Alabama generally do not fare very well. It's kind of like, not as much this year, but it's kind of like playing the 49ers in the NFL, that streak last year, to where every time a team after they played San Francisco would lose because you just had a physical fight.
You really do.
Week before.
The bruises are still there, and it's why I know it was a wild one, but Ole Miss did beat LSU the week after losing at Tuscaloosa.
Yep, they did. You know what? And I'll tell you what. I mean, first off, let me say, I'm going to take Tennessee. I think that, A&M's defensive front is the biggest part of their game, but I think Tennessee can neutralize it with the run game, and Tennessee's defensive front pretty good as well, and they'll get after A&M's quarterback. They're giving up a lot of sacks. But, yeah, to your point in regards to Ole Miss, 100%. And, we didn't talk about that enough. of how big of a win that was, because after such a tough loss against an opponent that truly does mean something, not that LSU doesn't, obviously, the SEC West, but, yeah, man, like, Ole Miss bounced back. That goes to show you, like, that's a locker room character proof type of game, if that makes sense. A lot of teams would just ship it in, be done. You know what I mean? And Ole Miss did the opposite.
I turned on Game Day in the various shows last Saturday morning, and all I heard was how bad LSU's defense was, and kind of Ole Miss was kind of lucky to win. Look, it's Ole Miss beating LSU the week after playing Bama. Speaking of Bama, 19.5, 20-point favorite. It's some as high as 20.5 in Tuscaloosa early tomorrow morning. Bama's not accustomed to this, especially not for an SEC game. I don't ever remember Bama and Arkansas kicking off this early in Tuscaloosa, or even Fayetteville for that matter. But Bama over Arkansas favored pretty big.
It's too many points, right? Now, look, Bama's going to win this game. Now, I'm not saying Arkansas can't. Trust me. I am not at all. All right, I like Sam Pittman and what he does with that crew, but it's way too many points. Alabama's offense is not, a juggernaut in terms of they're going to put up 60, right? It's just way too many, and for many of the reasons that you mentioned. All right, Bama coming off 2 big wins in a row here, right? And it's an early kickoff. And Arkansas could play a little bit of defense. They
can, Alan. I think they're an unfortunate 2-4. They're not a bad team. They just right now have a bad record.
Yeah, we said that about Arkansas, the previous year as well, right? Like, and yeah, I think that they're better than their record reflects. I think that this game, especially kicking off early, just having played the game before, we all know that, every week is not the same. Your head's not in it the same. And we'll talk about that here in just a second with another team that you can kind of fade a little bit. But again, it's way too many points. Take it. And if you're into prop betting, Arkansas' their touchdown total is 1.5 touchdowns. So essentially, you're betting over or under. They score 1.5 touchdowns. They could get 2 touchdowns against Alabama, but Bama's offense will turn it over, right? So. Yeah, man, I'm taking Arkansas.
Are there many props out there for college kickers? Because Arkansas has got one. Cam Little, when they cross the midfield mark, he's loosening up. Yeah.
Some states have them. The state of Tennessee does not, but other states do. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, they use him like the Ravens do. Like, once the Ravens get to the 50, Justin Tucker is getting that leg loose because he could go from anywhere. Harrison Butker last night for the Chiefs, man.
No, Alan, Tucker for the Ravens, when they get within 2 blocks of the stadium on the bus, he's good from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right on that one.
Alan, I'm curious your thoughts of the game that will be hosting Game Day tomorrow up in Seattle for the Game Day boys. That's going to be their interior clock is going to be way off tomorrow.
I'm seriously worried about Coach Corso. I
think you should.
Right? just a wake-up call for somebody 87 years old is scary.
That's early. But this game tomorrow, 8th-ranked Oregon versus 7th-ranked Washington. Both teams come in undefeated. Washington, a 3-point favorite. That total sitting about 67. What do you like in this marquee matchup?
Yeah, I do. I tell you. All right, so anybody who hasn't watched either of these two teams, they're good.
Yeah.
They're very good. Specifically offensively, both of these teams are going to score points. If anybody takes the over, I get it. I totally get it. But I think take Oregon here. I think that Oregon is the better overall team. I like their head coach, Dan Lanning, and what he has done. Mm-hmm. Bo Nix is playing excellent football. And you know what? Like, they could play defense, right? Like, I mean, this team is better than they get credit for. Everybody loves the offense, and rightfully so, because they can score at will, as can Washington. That being said, though, I do think that Oregon is just the better overall team. I'm going to take Oregon with the point. Honestly, I think Oregon wins this game outright. I just think that they're a better team. So, yeah, give me Oregon with the points, man. I'll take the Minnesota.
Alan, I want to get to the NFL, but before we kind of switch over to the NFL, what are maybe kind of a few of your favorite plays in college football that we didn't get to?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll give you one, okay? Take Vanderbilt with the points, and I'll tell you why.
Anchor down.
Yep, they are hosting Georgia tomorrow at 11 a.m. in Nashville. Georgia has a bye week next week and then plays Florida. Georgia's players are not going to care about this game at all. They just came off a big bounce-back win against Kentucky after almost losing to Missouri. All right? So you've got to have emotions up, down, and then they're on the road, and then they have a bye week. And everybody knows it, right? So take Vanderbilt with the points. I'm not saying Vanderbilt's going to win the game. They're not. But Georgia is just not going to be paying attention. Also, the under is probably a good play in this game as well. That's probably your best one, but I'm going to take my shot with Vanderbilt.
I like it. Alan, let's go to the NFL, and let's start bright and early Sunday morning in London. The Tennessee Titans against the Baltimore Ravens. Right now, Ravens about a 4.5 point favorite. That total at 42. What do you like for the Titans and Ravens?
Yeah, so, okay, again, this is another good under game to take a look at. But I'll tell you, I'll take Tennessee with the points. I think Baltimore wins the game. I think Baltimore's a better overall team. They have more weapons. They're better at the quarterback position. That being said, there's really been the two best head coaches in the NFL against Lamar Jackson have been Mike Tomlin and Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, go back and look. All right, now they've had better teams going up against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, but he kind of has that offense down. He understands it, right? So I just don't think that this is going to be a very high-scoring game. Also, why I like the under is because both of these teams are high-ranking and excellent at time of possession. Mm-hmm. The Titans are the kings of the NFL of taking 6.5 minutes off the clock on one drive and getting 3 points. That's what they do. And the Ravens, we talked about it a minute ago, they're not afraid to do the same thing as well, right? So you're going to see both field goal kickers. If you're into props, both Justin Tucker and Nick Folk are excellent options this week because these guys are really, really good and high percentage kickers, and especially with playing in London, all of that combined. Yeah, man, underdog with the points, kicker props. That's how you play a London game.
Love that. Alan Bell with us. He's with us every Friday, and you hear the good stuff he's putting out. An NFL actual line is a road team favored 9.5. That road team, San Francisco, they pounded the Cowboys last week. 9.5 point favorite over the Browns in Cleveland Sunday at noon.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I'm going to take the 49ers with the points, but my favorite play is the over, and I'll tell you why. Now, the Browns are going to be without quarterback Deshaun Watson, okay? So you're like, why? Why are we taking the over? Because the 49ers defense is going to leave the 49ers offense with short fields all day long. Now, Cleveland, one of the best run defenses in the NFL. That being said, has anybody paid attention to Brock Purdy? This dude is good. He is legit, and they're throwing the ball more than San Francisco has.
He's like something AI spit out.
Literally. And he was legitimately the last pick in the NFL draft, Mr. Irrelevant, right? I mean, he is playing phenomenal football. They don't turn it over at all, and they're passing more than they ever have in the Kyle Shanahan era there, right? So I think that San Francisco is going to score and score and score and be left with short fields. Cleveland might get, 7. I don't know. I don't expect too terribly much out of them. But yeah, like I get it. It sounds crazy, like you said, 9.5 on the road in the NFL. It is usually nuts, but not in this one, man. San Francisco is just so much better.
Alan, all joking aside, this may be a spring, summertime topic we can really go deeper on. But seriously, do you think Goodell should implement something, and maybe around sports, almost like the salary cap on AI, on artificial intelligence, where one team doesn't cut a decided advantage over someone else?
Man, AI in general is a fascinating question. We just started using it here at Sportstime, and we brought in a guy who did it for the Golden State Warriors, all right? And it's unbelievable how this technology can be used. And if you have the right
3 years.
Yeah, right? Like, I mean, it's fascinating. Like, this guy is legitimately using it for NFL prop betting, and he's like 74%. It's crazy. Yeah. It's insane, man. Like, you have to have the right people to do it. But they wouldn't even let me around the machine or him. I'm way too dumb to do that, right? But,
they won't let me cross into Williamson County.
Yeah, they're like, dude, you just stay in the kitchen. We'll just keep getting sandwiches.
Yeah.
But no, man, like, it's going to be a topic that's discussed because, analytics have been around the NFL for a minute here now, but they're getting stronger and stronger by the day. So, yeah, man, I don't have the answer, but your question is ahead of its time because it's going to be a real thing.
Well, Alan, we're about out of time, but before we let you go, I do want to know your favorite NFL play, maybe plays of the weekend.
Man, that's a great question, okay? So we've got a couple here, but I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you a simple one that everybody can enjoy. Take the Jaguars -4 at home against the Colts. And here's a trivia question for you. Do you know the last time the Colts won in Jacksonville?
I don't.
Couldn't tell you.
2014.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
And they played
that was some bad Jag
year.
teams in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they play them every year there, right?
Yeah,
and you're going to be doing it with Gardner Minshew, who I like, right? He's a good backup quarterback. But Jacksonville, even though they won last week against Buffalo, yeah, man, they're going to continue to get better. Take them with the 4. And also, the Bills on Monday night football, whatever it is.
Sunday.
-15 against the Giants, coming off of a bad loss. Take it. I know 15 is crazy. Take it. The Giants can't score.
And they're all banged up. Wow, they're injured.
And, Alan, someday, to pay tribute to his coach, Gardner Minshew in retirement, he's going to own that bar in Key West that Coach Mike Leach liked to hang out at.
You're 100% correct, man.
And I'm driving down there to see him.
Hey, swing and pick me up. I'm in.
You got it.
Alan, thanks so much for joining us.
weekend.
We'll do it again Friday.
Man, appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a great weekend, man. Take care.
Thanks, Alan. Alan Bell from CBS Digital, also the executive producer for The Early Edge, joining us every single week to talk some wagering. But we got to get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about tonight's game between the Tigers and Tulane. We'll also take a look at the slate of games in the American Athletic Conference. That's next on Sportstime.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV, $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500 G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015-137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Ready to unlock your home's potential? A huge sale has up to 50% off retail at Everything's Yours Appliances with 2 convenient locations in Mississippi, 7095 Hacks Cross Road, Olive Branch, and 8478 Highway 178 West in Byhalia. Invest in new appliances knowing you got a great deal. Everything's Yours Appliances has no credit financing available with low down payment and delivery. Everything's Yours Appliances has all major appliances and name brands. Hurry to Everything's Yours Appliances, where customers are number one.
I feel good. shopping at DriveMax. DriveMax! DriveMax! You get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax! I got approved!
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every dollar you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. People are loving what we've brought to Memphis. Genesis is a different kind of jewelry store with more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. The selection at Genesis is mind-blowing. Up to 30 times what you'd find at ordinary stores, including one of the largest selections of certified diamonds in the United States. From a half carat to 20 carats, rounds, princess cuts, ovals, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, both natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds. Plus, Genesis has brought a new level of quality to Memphis with exquisite handcrafted designer jewelry you won't find anywhere else. From names like Tacori, Verragio, Simon G, Kirk Cara, and dozens more from New York and California. And don't miss our stunning selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open at Poplar and Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, Brett, we only have a couple minutes left in this segment, but big game tonight for the Tigers. I already saw we've had the Tiger Walk. The boys are there. They're getting ready. What are your biggest keys tonight for a Tiger victory over Tulane?
I know everybody wants to avoid the slow start. I want to set the pace. I want to set the tone. I want to start it with that run game. Start it with Watson, get that going, even when Seth Hennigan has to have keepers and have him know when to slide, know when to fold him, dip it out of bounds, live for another play. That'll open up Rock Taylor. That'll open up the other receivers. And then on the defensive side, don't let Pratt beat you deep.
Yes.
If he's got to kind of just pick at you all night, fine. Just keep it all in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said earlier, we saw last week or 2 weeks ago against Boise State them kind of getting beat deep. And so hopefully that doesn't happen again tonight. I'm sure they've been spending all week worrying about it, for the last 2 weeks, worrying on, hey, do not let them get behind you. Keep them in front of you.
Pratt Hennigan, big-time quarterback matchup. I think the same at running back with Hughes from Birmingham for Tulane and for Watson for the Tigers.
Yeah, so it should be a fun game tonight. We will make our pick for this game at 5:30 during our First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast.
Another AAC note: watch UAB, and you know I'm a natural-born worrier. We'll start worrying about UAB next week.
Absolutely,
they're getting better.
They are, and they've got UTSA. Saturday, tomorrow, at the Dome, 7 o'clock tomorrow night on ESPNU. The other games, very light schedule in the American. We had SMU beating East Carolina last night, but then you also have Temple, North Texas tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. on ESPNU. Navy, Charlotte, 1 o'clock on ESPN+. FAU, USF. Let's also keep an eye on USF, see if they can bounce back against UAB. That game's tomorrow at 2:30. So it should be a fun weekend in the American, but all our eyes are going to be, and we're going to continue to talk about this game tonight, Tulane versus Memphis, and it should be a really, really fun one, a really competitive game between, I think, two of the best teams in the conference, and like we've been saying all week, whoever wins this game tonight really has the inside edge. They're in the driver's seat for that American Athletic Conference championship game, also to host that game next week. But that is all the time we have in this first hour. Let's get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk some more wagering with Bruce Marshall. He's from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. Don't go anywhere. Bruce Marshall next.
interrupt this broadcast for special news and information concerning family leisure.
The world's biggest spa sale is back and bigger than ever at Family Leisure. How is that possible? Well, let me tell you. You start off with 50 different spa models to choose from 5 different manufacturers. Then you throw in up to 30% off in-stock spas and swim spas. But is that all? Oh, no. You get free upgrades on all in-stock spas, plus 24 months, same as cash. Wow! This is the kind of sale that you just can't have every day. But it's happening right now at Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale. Soak in the savings right now at Family Leisure, Witten Road and I-40. You know the place where family and fun come together.
Please remain calm and walk. Don't run to Family Leisure. And now back to your regular programming.
Golfers, swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest new fall arrivals from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Titleist. Come by and test drive the new TaylorMade P790 irons, the new Callaway Apex Pro iron sets, and the new Titleist T-Series irons. While you're there, get a free custom fitting on the new arrivals and more. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is your headquarters for all the latest golf gear from all the top manufacturers. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at edwinwattsgolf.com.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Hey, Mid-South, you looking for a new ride that'll save you some big bucks? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. A new ride that boosts 41 mpg highway and 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $229 a month, $29.99 to its signing. How about 2023 Nero EV Wind SUV? 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 to its signing. And 2023 Kia EV6 Wind. Get up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 to its signing. Plus a free charger with your EV purchase. All 36-month leases and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor cars.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE 678 6055, MSRP 21610, Nero P5017859, MSRP 41090, EV6 P5017859, MSRP 49687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. MPD still on the scene with a reconstruction team over there at a fatal crash that happened earlier, South 3rd Street at Brooks. Try to avoid that area if you can. It's now starting to pick up just a bit in the Midtown area. I-40 over here at Chelsea. 240 still looks good southbound from Union all the way down past Norris. 240 also checks out okay, at least at the moment, as you get on to 385 Billmore Parkway. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Joining the guys every Friday is college football historian and Vegas legend Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insiders, CBS Sports, and his own website, bamsports.net. With over 30 years on Memphis radio, with handicapping and sports talk, here's Bruce Marshall with Bryant and Brett.
Bruce Marshall joining us on a Fight Song Friday, a big Fight Song Friday for the Tigers.
Started at 3 with it and at 4.
And we're ending at 4 with the Tigers. Again, a big game tonight for the Tigers as they host Tulane. And Bruce Marshall with us. So why not, Bruce? Let's start with that game. Memphis and Tulane just a couple of hours away. What do you see in this one? Tulane right now a slim favorite, but what do you like in this one tonight?
Yeah, I mean, good music both ways. We got the Jazz of New Orleans and the Blues of Memphis.
That's right.
Last year this is an interesting one last year because Tulane was way ahead at halftime, and then Memphis made a run in the second half and really had a chance to get within that point spread in the last minute before Hennigan threw that pick in the end zone. So they made it pretty interesting. They thought that might have been a hump win over Boise 2 weeks ago. That blocked field goal indicated that the Memphis special teams now might be capable of helping out Hennigan. But, I still kind of like Tulane a little bit more here. Michael Pratt, since he came back in the lineup, still very sharp. He's completing better than 75% of his passes. The one game they lost was the one he missed against Ole Miss, and Brett was there to see that one. So, I'm leaning a little bit to Tulane. It's not my favorite game on the card. 31-24 tonight out at Liberty Stadium. And I'm leaning to Tulane a little bit, though. But should be a good one tonight in a very important game in the American.
It really should be, Bruce, and I think it's a testament to Tulane staying patient with Willie Fritz after that 2-10 in the Hurricane debacle year of 2021 when Ole Miss beat them by 40, and we see the difference they made up in that time. And there are so many coaches out there that any loss, a narrow loss, Ryan Silverfield last year, the scar tissue from the close losses, you have this one as a close one tonight out at the stadium. And for Sam Pittman at Arkansas, just the close losses are really racking up against him. They got some agitation with Brian Kelly at LSU. Fans really are kind of on the hair trigger, aren't they?
They are, and
nothing
let's
new.
See, in tomorrow. I'm watching this A&M situation pretty closely, too, because Jimbo loses another one tomorrow to the Vols. I mean, they might already be starting to beat the war drums at College Station. I mean, losing to Alabama is no disgrace, but this is the year A&M thought it was going to make a breakthrough. And because of the dynamics surrounding that whole situation, that's one that could unravel. But you're right. I mean, the fan bases, they're especially in the SEC, they don't wait around too much. And Brian Kelly's hearing it, Sam Pittman's hearing it. And every week, it's I don't want to say it's must win everywhere, but it sort of is. Even Clark Lee's even feeling it now at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Billy Napier's hearing it at Florida. Everybody kind of runs discontented. It's win or else for so many people. This week Mark Stoops had to defend himself and basically tell his boosters, spend money on football like you do on basketball.
He did, and he brought that up in reference to Kirby, and Kirby didn't mind him saying that. I think everybody kind of likes Stoops, and they know what he's up against Calipari there, and the culture at Kentucky. But that's just the way it is right now. And Stoops. I mean, if Stoops is going to make a statement like that, he picked a good time right after the Wildcats got undressed by Georgia. Like, if you want us to be like Georgia, you're going to have to. Pony up. Though I'm not sure they could ever get to where the level Georgia is at. But he's right. That's the way the game is. They're all doing. I mean, same Vanderbilt's even asking about that right now too. So that's the name of the game now, Brett. That's for sure.
Well, Bruce, you mentioned this Texas A&M Tennessee game tomorrow. Right now, Tennessee about a 3-point favorite in this one. How do you like it?
Yeah, the more I look at this week, I think the total is a little bit too high, so I might look at an under. But I'm also looking at Tennessee. Now, we mentioned last week about A&M losing that tough one at home. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall this week in College Station at the coaches' meetings when Jimbo was in there talking to Bobby Petrino. He said, I thought, Bobby, you said you could protect our quarterback a little bit better than that. How come you couldn't protect Max better than you did last week against Alabama? He got sacked almost every time he stepped back last week in the pocket. So maybe, we can see that situation being very combustible there for A&M. The problem they have here, I mean, when Wiegman was in, he wasn't all that mobile. Max is less mobile than Wiegman was, and he's capable. He can throw. He's got good numbers throughout his college career, but he ain't that mobile. We saw that last week. And one thing Tennessee can do, when they go to that, they call it the cheetah package on defense, that front seven is fast. It's track relay speed fast. They not only lead the SEC in sacks, they lead the nation in sacks. So Mac's going to be seeing a lot more pressure this week. The question I have is, on the other side, Tennessee has sort of turned into more of a running team this year, and they're running it well, 231 per game. That's seventh nationally. But it's also because Joe Milton hasn't quite got this passing game up to speed the way Hendon Hooker had it the last year. Sporadic. And Milton has helped out with his legs, too. He had an 81-yard TD run in there as well in the first half of the season. So that's coming around. But I think it's that defense Tennessee had and that pass rush, and they're going to be coming at Max. And, oh, by the way, the schedule, you're off of a tough loss to Alabama, a gut punch loss like that. Tennessee is well rested off a bye. I can't imagine the schedule breaking much better for Tennessee than it does here. And I think Tennessee. So 31-19 Tennessee. For me, it's also an under the total in the mid-50s.
Tennessee minus the 3 over the Texas Aggies in Neyland. They haven't played very much. Only have met 4 times anywhere ever.
Yeah, and they haven't met since the COVID season when Tennessee was really struggling, and that was Jimbo's biggest year, by the way, was the COVID season. So biggest year at A&M at least. So they don't meet much, and they probably won't be meeting that much in the future when the SEC expands, and this be every once in a while this game. But for this week, I think the schedule-wise, I mean, Texas A&M could have used someone like Vandy this week, not Tennessee in Knoxville. So I think it's going to be a tough go for the Ags. We'll see.
Bruce Marshall with us from Vegas Insider from CBS Sports and his website, bamsports.net, a staple of Memphis talk radio for over 30 years, and with us every single week of the year, but during college football season, it was with even more anticipation for all of his picks that he's so good at. Tomorrow morning starts it early, Arkansas and Bama at Bryant-Denny Stadium. I just think Arkansas needs some good luck. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they don't belong. They don't belong. They just can't catch a break. What a place to try to go in and catch a break.
Yeah, you're right, Brad. That's 4 losses in a row, and they've been sort of within sight in all these games, but they just can't quite get over the hump. The offense, it just looks like it's backed up a little bit this year. I mean, under 300 yards. Last Saturday against the Rebels, under 200 the week before against A&M. Maybe part of that is Kendall Briles leaving and going down to TCU. But KJ has not had quite the big play bent this year as in the past. Still, though, this looks like a lot of points. And though Alabama's coming around pretty nice, I'm not. And Milroe is developing nice. In fact, he had to carry the burden last year because they couldn't run the ball at A&M much at all. But the deal here is I'm just not sure this Alabama team, guys, is built like the last few years to go out and cover these 3 TD numbers. I know they had in the Mississippi State game they would have got there, and I know Middle Tennessee too, but still, this offense doesn't move the way Bryce's offense moved or Tua's offense, Mac Jones, Jalen's. This is more of a grind-them-out offense, and Milrow's not going to be. Milrow threw more last week, but he's not going to put the ball up the way Bryce did the last couple of years. Even though Burton is sort of emerging as a nice threat, they're sort of more of a grind-it-out this year, rely on the defense, more of an old-style Alabama and Saban team. So I think getting over this spread hump is going to be a little bit much. They'll win, maybe not cover. 31-16, Crimson Tide. That'll be 5 losses in a row for Sam Pittman. So, he better get bowl eligible this year. That's the trigger to get the drum roll beating there in Fayetteville. It's not going to be easy if he loses this one, and I think he's looking at another L.
Bruce, I'm not saying this just because of Sam Pittman. I would say it about any coach in the SEC. I think it should be standard contracts. You're never going to get the agent world to agree to this, but you should get in a standard SEC football coaching contract. If after your second year, and Sam Pittman, this wouldn't apply to Sam Pittman if he misses a bowl this year, because it was the COVID year. They were going to go to the bowl, but the other team couldn't go. If after your second year, the second time you don't go to a bowl game, you're fired. We owe you nothing.
Let's got to get Jimmy Sexton on board with that.
I don't think he's going to go along with that, Bruce. Do you?
No, I don't think so.
Bruce, tomorrow at College Game Day, Oregon and Washington, they'll be up in Seattle. That game at 2:30 on ABC. Right now, Washington a 3-point favorite. Michael Penix Jr., we've talked all year about what he has done, but going up against bodacious Bo Nix and those Oregon Ducks, what do you like in this top 10 matchup?
And Bruce, I'm convinced Bo Nix came into the SEC right after his dad Patrick's eligibility expired at Auburn.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, and this is big, and these teams may well meet again in the Pac-12 title game, just like Oklahoma and Texas.
You're the
We'll
rematch.
probably meet again in the Big 12 title game, so keep that in mind, too. This might just be round 1 of 2 between these two. Last year, Washington went down to Eugene and won. A lot of people thought that was impossible for any Pac-12 team to go in there. Washington did it, and that's why I say, and I still believe last year, Washington was the best team in the Pac-12.
Wow.
They weren't in the conference title game because of some tiebreakers that put Utah in there instead, but they were better than Utah or USC last year. They're proving it this year. Penix is putting up all these numbers, and we will see. Oregon, I get, away from Eugene, they're not quite the same, and I know they took care of Dion pretty big at home, and they won that game at Stanford 2 weeks ago, but the red flag for me was that Texas Tech game. They were very fortunate just to survive that game. And now this is a hostile spot. Washington's a better rounded team than Texas Tech. Penix is very dangerous. He's chasing Caleb. I think he's a little bit ahead of Bo Nix in the Heisman race. And I think Washington gets them here this week, 37-30. Huskies, I think this is a superior team. I think this is the best team in the Pac-12. By the way, if you read my cover story at bamsports.net, I talk about a 2-year swing in this series where they had a 124-point swing in the score line in 73 and 74, 58-0 Oregon, followed by 66-0 Washington the next year. I've never seen anything like it, and I write about it in this old border war that thankfully will survive the conference shuffle next year. But there's a lot of hate in this series and a lot of color in the past, too.
It sure is, Bruce, and an elimination game on a lot of fronts. Potentially Heisman, college football playoff, who has pecking order, who has the inside advantage going to Pac-12 championship game in the final one. We know we're going to have the 2-Pac championship game maybe next year, but Oregon and Washington, they're on their way to the Big Ten. Have you ever been to a game at Washington at Seattle?
Yes, I have. It is the best setting, aside from West Point, I think I've ever been to.
Incredible.
Beautiful. Right on Lake Washington there. And that stadium is, it looks like a big alligator because they got this cantilever roof over both sides. And there's a little, by the way, on the north side, they constructed that upper deck in 87. The other side they built like in the early 50s. Then they made it look like the other side. When they were building that, though, the roof collapsed, and they had to restart from scratch. So there's a little extra fear if you go to a game there knowing this thing above me actually fell once when they were building it. So anyway, it is a great place to go watch a game.
Now, at one time, all these stadiums did. Down at Austin did, at Oregon did, at Washington, the Coliseum. Everybody used to have a track around the field. It just nobody does now. Did you go pre or post track?
Pre-track. They had the track there, yeah, and tracks are bad for football, and they're bad for soccer too. I mean, it doesn't. That's like a negative, and there's not many that do that now. One that does, I know, up at Buffalo for the college team, the Bulls. There's a track there, and you're like 100 yards away from the field. So, yeah, that takes away some of the intimacy. But Washington was the noise there. It's the loudest outdoor stadium because of the way that roof is. The noise bounces down to the field. So for an outdoor stadium, that's about as loud as it gets.
That's awesome. I want to get to a couple more college games before we jump over to the NFL, but tomorrow night a massive game. 10th-ranked USC heads up to Notre Dame, 21st-ranked Notre Dame. A big game for both teams. We saw USC's defense really struggle last week against Arizona. Notre Dame lost last week to Louisville. Right now it looks like Notre Dame about a 3-point favorite at home. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, well, we were watching the USC late last Saturday night. We were up in the Bay Area with the grandkids. My wife's watching, and she shakes her head. She's looking at SC. She goes, El Toreador. He said, El Cordobés. El Matador defense. El Cordobés, a great bullfighter. That's who's the defense looks like. This is the worst tackling defense I have seen in the country. In Sun Belt, MAC, Mountain West, absolutely the worst.
They're just not committed to it.
This is on Alex Grinch. It's on Lincoln Riley, too. Grinch is a recruiter, their defensive coordinator. He's a recruiter, and he's a scheme guy. He is not a teacher, though. He doesn't teach worth a lick.
Great point.
And that's what's going to cost SC. And the schedule's getting harder now. And also, by the way, I don't know that Caleb Williams gets all the flags, especially in South Bend, that he's getting out in the Pac-12 this year. You can't touch him in the pocket, or they're going to throw a flag. And Arizona has right to be livid on a couple of those hits on Williams that look just like regular sacks, and they're calling roughness penalties. I don't think Williams gets that in South Bend. However, they're catching Notre Dame. I don't really feel bad for Notre Dame ever, but this has been an extremely tough scheduling stretch for them. They started on week 0 in Dublin, no breaks, and in a row, Ohio State, which was as tough a loss as you could have. Duke turned into a much tougher game than they ever thought. Louisville finally caught up with them last week. Hartman's numbers have dropped the last few weeks. His teammate's not running quite as well. But this is like the last chance for them to redeem their season. And it's the worst defense I think they're going to see until they maybe play one of the weaker ACC teams later in the year. I think Notre Dame probably gets them here. The one note I have, over the total, SC is now 13-1 over into last season, and it's a great combination for an over. They've got a potent offense scoring about 50 per game with Caleb and a horrible defense. Add those two up, equals over. So I'm going over as my first call on this one, about 60, and a little bit to Notre Dame. So let's call it 36-33 Irish.
Ooh, and a wild, great one. Is this Notre Dame's biggest rival? I asked it earlier in the week, really rhetorically and unknowingly.
Yes, because it's endured. We couldn't count Navy. I mean, Navy actually might be more important because of the historical, what Navy did to save the school of World War II. But this is the one, because the old rivalries they used to have, the Michigan States and the Purdue's, they don't play them every year now. So this one continues to be played. So I definitely think it is for Notre Dame, and and it will continue to endure, I believe, as USC moves into the Big Ten next year. So, yeah, I definitely think so for Notre Dame.
Bruce, before we jump over to the NFL, what is your favorite college football game on the slate this weekend, and also kind of your off-the-wall play we love to get from you?
Yeah, as far as a favorite play this week, I'm going to give you a couple of these from the off-the-wall. One, UAB, I reserve, if politicians can change their minds, so can I.
Absolutely.
And I reserve the right to change my opinion of UAB and Trent Dilfer because I was pretty down on them. But I've watched them the last 3 weeks. And, Dilfer's no dummy, though. I mean, he just doesn't have a lot of experience coaching. but he's smart and he knows offense. This offense is going full throttle. He's got Jacob Zeno throwing the ball, standing on the accelerator with this offense. They had over 300 yards in the first half against South Florida last week. I mean, they really are gunning the engines. And you look back, the Tulane game, the Georgia game, I mean, they came right out there. They weren't scared at all. They're going down to San Antonio to play the Roadrunners. Very disappointed for UTSA. They finally got a cover this year, barely last week against Temple. Now, Frank Harris, the 15th-year quarterback, finally came back last week. He had been out. So that is a plus for UTSA, but they have been very disappointed this year. It's not the big year they were expecting. You're getting about 10 for UAB. I will take the Blazers at the Alamo Dome tomorrow. One other one in the MAC, I'm going to give Buffalo a shot. Buffalo is starting to play some really good football lately. They catch Bowling Green tomorrow. Bowling Green had that one game against Georgia Tech. Last week they got blanked by Miami, Ohio. Not a great team. I think Lowe, for the coach, might be in some trouble. You can see Buffalo picking up some momentum after that tough start to the season. Now they've won their last two MAC games. Short price for the Bulls at home tomorrow. I'll take Buffalo over Bowling Green.
I like it. Now, getting over to the NFL, we've got an early morning yet again in the NFL, and a lot of people here in the state of Tennessee have a rooting interest in this one with the Titans playing the Ravens over in London. Right now, Baltimore about a 4-point favorite in this one. What do you like in the early morning game on Sunday?
I don't like Baltimore laying as many points. I mean, Lamar is just still making mistakes that rookies would make. For the good plays he makes, he's just not reliable enough. And I suppose you could say the same about Tennessee. The offense has only worked in spurts this season, and Tannehill's days are numbered, I think, at quarterback. But Baltimore, by the way, did go early this week. The last time they went to London a few years ago, they went late in the week and they got smoked by the Jags. So Harbaugh took them there on Monday this week to get used to London. So I don't know that makes much difference. I'm looking at an under in this game, so it's low 40s. I think that's too high. So under. My score was 19-16 Baltimore. Maybe a little bit to Tennessee, but under my look in that one.
Under 41.5.
Yeah, I see. I think under is probably. These teams are both struggling to score points. Defense is not bad, so I think it's going to be a grinder over at Tottenham.
Jacksonville just there for 2 games. They're back home, air quotes here, at TIAA Stadium in Jacksonville in an AFC South battle. Jacksonville 4.5 over the Colts. Jacksonville, they got a quarterback. The Colts think they do. They got to keep him healthy, though.
Well, the Colts do have a good backup, though. And
That's true.
Minshew, I sort of thought maybe they should have played Minshew from the start this season and let Richardson kind of use his way into it. Richardson looked like he was ready, but they got to figure out a way to use him where he's not getting hurt like this. It's already twice now he's been hurt in the first month of the season. Now he's out 4 to 6 weeks. But Minshew's not a bad backup, and I think Indy will be okay. Shane Steichen has done a very nice job getting these guys ready. However, they did lose opening day to the Jags, who have now won and have covered 7 of the last 8 in this series. Jacksonville found some momentum over there in London the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Defense played very well. I think Jacksonville gets them here. 24-16 Jags down at the old Gator Bowl, what they used to call the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville.
I still slip because I love it, and when I see it, I think of those cocktail party games there. Bruce, give us your favorite NFL game, and then tell our listeners how they can get more information from you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a total here, and I'm going to look at Minnesota and the Bears to go over. It's a mid-40s total. Justin Fields has put up some huge numbers the past couple weeks. He did, and he's thrown 4 TD passes each of the last 2 weeks. Minnesota, we know they can move the ball with Kirk Cousins, so kind of a shootout up there in Chicago, so I'm going to go over the total in that one. Also, Monday night, Dallas should not be laying points against the Chargers. It's going to be a close game. No more than, it's going to be a close decision, but I think the Chargers can win this game. They shouldn't be an underdog at home. They're off a bye week. Dallas got smacked last week. Dallas ain't that good. I agree with Stephen A. Smith. They're at least not as good as Jerry thinks they are. Chargers 29-24 on Monday night.
And Bruce, where can we find more of you?
Thanks, Bryant. Check us out online, bamsports.net. Call it the Pigskin Prophecy. We write up all the college and pro games each week. I'll have some feature selection. In fact, got them up there right now for college this week, and then tomorrow for the NFL, bamsports.net. Also, my picks every day, and this includes baseball, NFL, college football, and NHL at vegasinsider.com, and my stuff also up there at CBS Sportsline. That's at sportsline.com.
Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next Friday.
Okay, have fun, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce, and have a great weekend, and good luck to you. And Bruce is where we are on UAB. I've said a couple times this week, that's next week's mission. Tonight, Tulane, everything. We know that. But there will be He'll be nothing easy next week going to Birmingham against UAB.
No.
I was big on UAB preseason, then they didn't start well. I thought they found something against Georgia.
Yeah.
And they got confidence. So, hey, if we can move the ball against Georgia, bring on the rest of our schedule.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, and last week I know a lot of people are going to go, UAB and USF, well, why? How could you take anything from that? But those are two young teams with new coaches, and I thought UAB played extremely well against that USF team.
We're headed to almost getting closer to time for Tigers in Tulane. It'll be so much fun. And one of the great sponsors of Tigers Athletics is Sissy's Log Cabin. They also are the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies and are a great sponsor of ours. And on Monday, we'll have our look back at the SEC, brought to you every Monday by Sissy's Log Cabin. That new location, it's opening soon at 4542 Poplar. Bill Jones and his great team here to stay. Some blow in, blow out, gone really fast, about as fast as they blow in, not Sissy's Log Cabin. Here and here to stay and part of the community, very much part of the community. And that's the way they want it. That's the way they've been all through the years across Arkansas and Tennessee. The Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, rings, earrings, 9,000 square foot in Laurelwood with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. Since 1970, with 6 locations across Arkansas and Tennessee, in Sissy's they offer a selection of diamonds, estate jewelry, and fine gifts. The official jeweler for the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum Floor Seat Lounge, and for the Tigers tonight, you'll see Jumbotron, ribbon boards, you'll see all kind of display and advertising. You always hear it on Tiger broadcasts as well about Sissy's Log Cabin, and they're with us on Monday for a look back at the SEC. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary experience because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the weekend slate in the SEC.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
The 4-1 Memphis football team is home Friday, October 13th at 6 o'clock for a huge conference matchup against Tulane for first place in the conference. It's wrestling night. Enjoy the matches on Tiger Lane and meet and greet with the wrestlers inside the stadium. Tickets start at just $20 to watch this big-time conference matchup. Be at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium Friday, October 13th at 6 o'clock. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
If you want a deal, get to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike because we've got Jeep Adventure Days and Ram Power Days still going strong. If you're looking to save up to $12,000 $1,000 off a new ride, we got it covered. Right now, take your pick. 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit 4-wheel drive or 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 4x4, $12,000 off MSRP. And 2023 Wagoneer L Series 111 4x4, $10,000 off MSRP. And if we don't have what you're looking for, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Wagoneer PS5 64,158, MSRP 117,430. Cherokee P88 76 88.9, MSRP 80,205. Gladiator PL 509 834, MSRP 68,815. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg at East Memphis Ace. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with cook temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched, authentic wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get your Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Ace on the corner of South White Station and Quince Road.
I'm with John Vergos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, I want to talk about our seasoning and sauce today. Our sauce is a great blend of sweet, mustard, and vinegar. It's good on so many items other than barbecue. It's good on pizza. People use it in lieu of ketchup. But our seasoning is the original dry rub, created by my father using a mixture of Greek and Cajun spices. People think our sauce and seasoning are good just during the grilling season. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's good year-round. Our seasoning is good on fish, chicken, deviled eggs, corn on the cob, French fries. People even put a dash in a Bloody Mary. To get a complete list of all of our recipes using our products, go to hogsfly.com, click recipes, and you'll see 50 wonderful items and dishes. And Brett, our sauce and seasoning is available at most grocery stores, and if they don't have it, please remind your grocer to stock it. And our slaw is also available at most Kroger stores.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Vergos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Trying to clean up this earlier wreck over here on 40 westbound just past Sycamore View Road. There's still a bit of traffic volume left as you come past Abilene up to Sycamore View Road. Again, trying to clear up this crash. 40 westbound past Sycamore View Road just before you get to that 240 flyover. Still on the scene of that nasty wreck we had earlier at 3rd Street at Brooks. Hopefully they'll get that back open soon. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we've already talked a lot of college football today, but we got to get to the SEC and talk about this weekend of action. And it starts off early with I know we've talked about this already, but it still blows my mind that you're going to get all the top 4 teams in the country all playing at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. And it starts with an SEC game between Georgia and Vanderbilt. I love Vanderbilt. I do not think it's going to be very close tomorrow for the Doors.
I don't either. It's all SEC versus SEC tomorrow, just not everybody playing, a lot of open dates. The combined, right now, as we speak, at this time, shade after 4:30 on a Friday, as we speak, the combined point spreads for tomorrow, 5 games, six games, almost 70 points.
Really?
I mean, 32.5, 19.5, 3, 2, 11, 2.5. And when I go back to preseason, remember, we're tied on our preseason W's and L's. Both of us right now, exactly 53-9 on preseason. We have one big difference, and it's always the hard one to pick. And it's hard according to Vegas. Mizzou and Kentucky. In the preseason,
Wow.
I had Kentucky winning that. You have Mizzou winning it.
Do I really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I don't even remember picking Mizzou back then.
Green shade means win, doesn't it?
It sure does. So I guess I was awfully high on Missouri even before the season started. But yeah, no, I mean that's going to be a great game. I mean we've seen Kentucky, and I think we're still kind of waiting for Devin Leary to really kind of have that breakout quarterback performance that we
He's
kind of
been
expected.
really average.
He has been very average, and they were able to get it on the run game a couple weeks ago against Florida when Florida was a ranked team, and now they're back in the top 25. But Missouri, I mean, not in the top 25 anymore, but let's not act like they just got killed last week against LSU. LSU needed every single second left in that fourth quarter to even win that game.
And that really, I know the margin is going to go down in the annals of football history as 10 points, but we know what happened late in that game.
Closer.
And that was Brady Cook, I think, pressing, trying to make some magic happen late at Columbia.
I mean, Brett, that game was tied with, 4 minutes left in the game? I mean, it was down the stretch tied, and people thought Missouri was going to win that game. So I think you're absolutely right. This one should be a great one, 6:30 on SEC Network. It could be maybe one of the best games of the day in all of college football, and that's going up against multiple top 25 versus top 25 games.
In the preseason, we both have Georgia beating Vandy. I think we both do today. And we're going to get to our picks in about an hour, and we're not picking that one. But I think we did. We'd both pick Georgia.
I think so.
In the preseason, we both had Bama over Arkansas, just preseason W's and L's. Stay tuned. Texas A&M and Tennessee. Even a well-known Tennessee hater like you had Tennessee in the preseason.
Yeah.
I don't feel as good about it now as I did in the preseason because
Not at all.
Joe Milton has scared me. I mean, and what scares me, if by now, really 3 years on campus, if Josh Heupel hadn't got him figured out by now, when is he?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I think it's going to be a great game because we've seen Joe Milton, and I know Jay Morgan loves to bring up, and I'm sure it's changed a ton now, but this was early in the season, maybe after 3 weeks or so, the stat of 50% of his completions have come from behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And so, we've heard about the deep ball, his big arm, and it's just the accuracy is
He
such a
goes
concern.
60 yards on his knees.
Yes, and the thing about
I need you throwing it 20 on your feet.
Exactly. And so the thing about this Texas A&M defense, which I love, is you're not going to get a whole lot of opportunities at 3rd and 2. It's going to be a lot of 3rd and 5, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, and you're going to have to make a play with your arm. And
Unless you've been great on first down.
Exactly. And so, this defense is really, really good for Texas A&M. So I know that's the CBS game tomorrow. I'm excited about that one because I think you have this high-powered Tennessee offense that maybe some people are still waiting to see just how high-powered can they be without a guy named Hendon Hooker at quarterback.
All right, I know you've seen it. So I'm afraid this is generational, but I know you've seen this archival video. The video of Andy Reid as a kid at a punt passing contest, and he just towers over every other kid. Did you know what punt passing kick was?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
I don't mean this ugly. I mean it flattering. I'd enter Joe Milton in one right now, and I'd take my chances around college football. But with 2 minutes to play and I need a drive to win a game, I think I like Max Johnson a little better. We'll hold off on picks though.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun game though. I mean, when you mix that offense with that defense, that should be a really good one. How about this? Because I know we're gonna make our picks later, and we might get to this one. I can't even remember if this is on our board or not. LSU and Auburn tomorrow night at 6, and
it will be.
LSU by 11 kind of scares me in this one against Auburn because we've seen Auburn go toe-to-toe with Georgia just a couple of weeks ago. And so I'm excited for that game. I want to see kind of after that shootout last week against Missouri, the shootout 2 weeks ago, even though it was a loss against Ole Miss, what can this LSU defense kind of show us something against Auburn?
Kind of on the punt, pass, and kick front. I sure would enter Jaden Daniels in it. And if Joe Milton didn't win it, I know he would. But Jaden Daniels can complete it and move a football team. I trust him. Again, just if you were out there in the college football universe, the cool kids say now, the ecosystem of college football. If you were out there and just blanket, really not knowing the labels on a team, you would take that LSU personnel.
100%. 100%.
It's still beautiful.
It is. And that offense, I mean, you can say all you want about defense and their struggles. That offense has continued to show how good they are.
You wouldn't take Auburn's personnel over LSU's at all.
Not at all. Not at all. No chance. But I would certainly take LSU. I would even take that defense with how they've struggled lately. I mean, this is a team that with 2 losses, they have shown that they're still a top 25 caliber team. I think they've even shown that they can still compete for the SEC, even though they have those 2 losses. One of them was out of conference.
Yeah.
The other one was I know Ole Miss won it, but it was a coin toss. I mean, it really was. If that game had one more quarter in it, who knows who would have won that game?
LSU was up 9 with the football with 5 to go.
Yeah,
now you got to give Ole Miss credit,
Sure.
and we sure have.
Absolutely.
But that could have been easily as won by LSU as by Ole Miss, and Ole Miss finally got that kind of win, and that was the reaction. That was why it was such euphoria, and it's why that locker room was so happy compared to just content, glad it's over after Arkansas.
Yeah. So that's going to be I think that's going to be a good game because I really do want to see what this LSU team looks like and kind of can they maybe right the ship a little bit, because I think a lot of people thought LSU, after going to the conference championship last year, could come into this conference this year with a lot of guys coming back. You've got now second year of Brian Kelly, and maybe really kind of assert their dominance in here. And none of these SEC games have been a blowout for them. I mean, Arkansas was a 3-point game that was looking pretty scary at the end. Absolutely. So
that's where Brian Kelly. That's where he is right now.
Yeah,
he's not in trouble with. He's not close to in trouble with Scott Woodward and the powers that be and the folks that write the big check. He's not in trouble right now with rank and file. Lose at Tiger Stadium. That changes.
Absolutely. It changes a lot. Another game tomorrow in the SEC, 2:30 on SEC Network. Florida and South Carolina. In South Carolina, they're a 2-point favorite, even though they have 3 losses and Florida only has 2.
We both picked Florida.
Did we both pick Florida?
That's a hard one to pick.
That's a hard, and
it used to not be.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a good game. I don't know. If I don't think maybe Florida could show something on the road, but they're just such a different team at home and on the road.
And South Carolina's different. Show me the real Spencer Rattler. I've been waiting for that for a few years now. Down the stretch last year, we're thinking, okay, maybe if this is him in 2023 at SEC Media Days, that was with our South Carolina guests, that was kind of the central theme of, what do we get? And by this point, if you're still asking, what do you get? Hadn't you gotten it? Not much.
Yeah. I mean, and it's really it's been since he's come out of high school. I mean, even when he was at Oklahoma, we were still going
presumptive Heisman Trophy candidate that year,
and we were saying, "Come on! I mean, is this the guy that we thought was going to be a Heisman?" Yeah. And he just hasn't shown it. I think you could say that for this entire South Carolina offense. It's kind of shown me when you're
in the SEC. This isn't, and Banner, I'm not saying it because Ole Miss is not playing. I'm not even close.
No.
This is a good day.
It is.
Any upset, I think, though, would be shocking because 11 for Auburn at LSU and almost 20 for Arkansas.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna hold off on my Arkansas pick till we pick and until after we talk to Ty Richardson.
Whew.
But it scares me where I'm close to.
Really. I'm excited to talk to Ty because I really want to know. I'm curious what it's been like for him and his station, ESPN Arkansas. What has that text line been? What has that phone line been this week after 4 losses?
Some of the stuff that I did here. We will visit with Ty and get his firsthand reaction about it. And look, Arkansas fans are not any different than anybody else. Everybody wants to win.
Yeah, everybody wants to win.
And then when you don't, you're very aggravated. And the close losses. That's what really just beats people down because you're that close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are, and so I'll be interested to see what he has to say when we talk to him at 5. Brett, I know we need to get to a break here in a second, but we got to get to our bingo card. We have forgotten our bingo card the past couple of weeks.
Last 2 Fridays,
it's been hectic. It's been hectic.
I have a theme for bingo card.
All
Can
right.
you believe that?
I'm excited to hear it. Please give me your bingo this week.
Tonight from the stadium at the fairgrounds. all Memphis bingo. You can count on this from going to a break or coming back from a break. The perfunctory shot of the Peabody Ducks.
Oh, of course.
You can count on that. Also, the gates at Graceland.
Absolutely, which I love to see.
The up close of one of the most beautiful thing in all of the Almighty's creation, Tom the Tiger.
Yes.
And down on Beale Street, we'll get maybe the Flippers.
Wow!
We'll get a Beale Street shot.
all of your 4 bingos this week
all
is
thematic.
Tonight's ESPN broadcast of the Tigers in Tulane. I like that.
It'll look beautiful.
I like that.
We got a lot to show the world.
Yes, we absolutely do. So we need people's help tonight watching that broadcast. If you're not going to the game, to help us out, and if
play along at home.
Play along at home and let us know how we did. My 4 bingo for this weekend. I'm gonna start with an NFL one. People are going to miss the 8:30 game. They're going to wake up. They're going to forget about it.
Really will.
And you'll hear people
at 11. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Or they'll wake up at like 9 and they'll flip it on and go, or they'll look at ESPN and go, oh wait, there's a game going on right now. So I guarantee maybe not in this area because of the Titans participating in that game, but I do think they will.
In this market, we get screaming Mike Keith early Sunday morning.
We sure do. It's going to be
I
fun.
love Mike Keith.
Absolutely. My next one is going to be for College Game Day. A fish toss in Seattle. They have the little fish market there where they toss the fish, and so we're going to get a shot of that at game day tomorrow. I'm sure of it. USC's defense being atrocious. I can guarantee you they're going to be bad tomorrow, playing a good Notre Dame offense. You're going to see some struggles from USC. You're going to hear people talking all about it on social media, talking just about, this defense is so bad. And maybe it could be the reason why they lose tomorrow against Notre Dame. So I think that's going to be a big theme this weekend is USC's bad defense. My last one, I'm really excited about this one. This is a wild card. Taylor Swift talk in the NFL on a broadcast in the NFL on a Sunday where the Chiefs do not play. With the Chiefs playing last night, I still think at some point one of these games, some play-by-play guy or color commentator is going to try to make a funny joke about, Taylor Swift's not here or something like that. You're going to hear Taylor Swift's name or see Taylor Swift during these games on Sunday, even though the Chiefs are not playing. Well, that is our bingo cards. Brett is going full Memphis theme tonight. I'm spreading it out, a little bit of NFL, a little bit of college. But let's get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, Chevy truck season, it's here. And if you're ready for a new Silverado, All-Star Chevrolet, right here in Olive Branch has deals that are spot on to save you money. And let's be real, your good credit deserves it. Financing as low as $0. No payment for 90 days. That could be next year. Plus, you get $1,000 in cash, and All-Star has all the Silverados. Fall road trips, tailgating, Thanksgiving, Christmas, timing could not be better. So come to Olive Branch and drive a new Tahoe or Traverse. And if it's a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned you want, All-Star is loaded up. Camaro convertibles, Suburbans, Lexuses. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he will find it for you. And Jeff and Kevin told me to thank all of you who are bringing your cars and trucks here to sell. You could get a check today for some crazy good money. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or Carterville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert. For the best quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choate's will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choate's, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Hey, Mid-South, you looking for a new ride that'll save you some big bucks? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. A new ride that boosts 41 mpg highway and 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $229 a month, $29.99 to its signing. How about 2023 Nero EV Wind SUV? 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 to its signing. And 2023 Kia EV6 Wind. Get up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 to its signing. Plus a free charger with your EV purchase, all 36-month leases, and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE 678-6055, MSRP 21,610, Nero P501-7859, MSRP 41,090, EV6 P501-7859, MSRP 49,687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, my big number today is going to go back to Major League Baseball. I've kind of been on a trend lately of Major League Baseball big numbers, but with the postseason, I think a lot of these big numbers are really interesting, really fascinating, and pretty unique. This one comes from that game last night between the Braves and the Phillies, and my big number is 3. Spencer Strider is 0-3 in 3 career playoff games. All 3 of those losses have come against the Philadelphia Phillies.
Explain that.
I can't, Brett.
I can.
Can you?
That's baseball.
That's baseball. That's absolutely right. He is the third pitcher to play the same opponent in each of his first 3 postseason appearances and earned the loss in all of them. That stat comes courtesy of OptaStats. The only other 2 pitchers to do that. You're going to have to help me with some of these pitchers. I don't even know if you might not be familiar with one of them because he played in the 20s. The first one from 49 to 55, you might not be familiar with him either. Don Newcomb.
Oh yeah, Don Newcomb.
0-3 versus the Yankees.
Great Dodger.
Yeah.
I'm going to say after Jackie Robinson, one of the first African-American players.
Oh,
wow. Monty Irvin,
sure.
Roy Campanella, Don Newcomb's in there.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. And then the second one, Bill Sherdle, played from 26 to 28.
Got nothing.
I don't have anything on him. He was 0-4 versus the New York Yankees.
Well, let me improve that grammar. I don't have anything.
I got nothing. But yeah, so three starts against the same opponent and 0-3 in all of them. And especially a pitcher like Spencer Strider, that is really, really incredible.
It is. I've got a couple. The first one, 16. Tulane, 16-3 in their last 19. So it could be 19 in there. That's the best 19-game stretch since 1948-49 for Tulane. Also for Tulane, Willie Fritz, 12 wins away from the most in Tulane history, and they also have that 6-game road winning streak. This from last night, a good number from Scott Van Pelt. The 4 winningest teams in baseball, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, Atlanta, and Los Angeles, they won 404 games between them. They went 1-11 combined in the playoffs.
Holy cow. Yep.
What did it get you?
Really?
Gave you a great summer, historic year. But we play for majors.
I'm sure
we play for majors.
Made plenty of money in July and August, but
the Braves and all those home runs, a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
You play for majors.
Brett, we were talking the other day about
Andy North is just simply considered better than Peter Jacobson. He won 2 U.S. Opens.
You're absolutely right. But we talk about all these big numbers and kind of where we get them from and stuff. Scott Van Pelt is a good one to get them from. He always has the numbers, and those people they have at ESPN getting all of that research and stuff. It's really good.
And that information book that they hand in. Now, he's very talented. He's working hard on them and always seems to be having a blast.
Having the time of his life every single night you see him. It's really incredible. But you're right. I mean, with these teams that have won 1 million games, it seems like every season.
And now we're off in baseball till Monday.
Sunday night, they're going to be going up against Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I mean, I think somebody should be going tomorrow.
I think so as well. I think they should have had the Astros and the Rangers ready to go tomorrow and then start the other series on Sunday. Or if you didn't want to start on Sunday, no, they should have started on Sunday. The other team is finished.
Yeah.
D-backs are finished, you finished last night, which was Thursday, so you had plenty of time.
Now, one thing about what we're down to in this Final Four, with the big exception of Philadelphia, we're not sweating weather in those other places.
No. We're not sweating anything. But you're right. They should go.
We
should
got
start tomorrow.
roofs in 3 out of 4.
That is true. But I think they should start tomorrow. Now, with that Sunday Night Football game we have on Sunday, Bills and Giants, that spread right now is like 14.5. So
we'll see who gets the interest.
And yeah, you could see a lot of people turn over to postseason baseball.
Baseball still won't beat it though.
It won't. No, it won't come anywhere close. But maybe it can make a small dent. But we got to get to a break and wrap up this hour. When we come back, we'll talk Arkansas Razorbacks with Ty Richardson.
Wow, I feel good. Shopping at Drive Max. You get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax, I got approved.
Pizza lovers and sports fanatics, Ferraro's Pizzeria is your Sunday ticket headquarters. Catch every pro game on multiple big screen TVs while enjoying $2 beers, $9 beer buckets, and mouth-watering pizza. We're talking the cheesiest, most delicious New York pizzas in town with all your favorite toppings. What are you waiting for? Grab your family and friends and get to Ferraro's, corner of Jackson and Main, just east of the Pyramid. Enjoy every pro game at Ferraro's Pizzeria and Cheesy Corner, your game day destination.
Golfers, swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest new fall arrivals from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Titleist. Come by and test drive the new TaylorMade P790 irons, the new Callaway Apex Pro iron sets, and the new Titleist T-Series irons. While you're there, get a free custom fitting on the new arrivals and more. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is your headquarters for all the latest golf gear from all the top manufacturers. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at edwinwattsgolf.com.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Hi, this is Jimmy Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home, with Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out with Corky.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee. Forte PE 678 6055, MSRP 21610. Nero P5017859, MSRP 41090. EV6 P5017859, MSRP 49687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, the weather's getting cooler, but the deals keep on getting hotter at Gossett Kia South. What you got going on, Jeff?
Only the best deals you'll find on your new Kia, Randy. I've got 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS $229 a month, $29.99 do-it signing. I've got EV action with a 2023 Nero EV Win SUV, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 do-it signing. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win, 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 do-it signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. MPD still trying to finish up the paperwork on a wreck that happened a little bit earlier. One person was killed there at South 3rd at Brooks Road. Hopefully they'll get that back open. There's still some volume out here left over from our earlier wreck on 40 going westbound. As you come past Sycamore View Road, traffic's on the increase going eastbound, headed out towards Fayette County. 240's busy, but it's not the worst we've ever seen it over here on 240 as you get on to 385. Bill Morris Parkway going outbound. Hey, don't miss it this year. Smoky Mountain Fall Festival at Ober-Gatlinburg. Check it out online at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Time to talk Razorbacks on Sportstime. Joining the guys is Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas to talk all things Hogs and SEC. On Twitter X at Ty Sports Radio, here's Ty Richardson with Bryant and Brett.
Come on, all you Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those Hogs!
Welcome back into Sports Time, and joining us like he does at 5 o'clock every Friday afternoon, Ty Richardson joins us now. Ty, thanks so much for joining us, and I want to start off with kind of what are your airwaves like? What are the text messages coming in? What are the calls coming in over at ESPN Arkansas this week as Arkansas getting ready to head down to Alabama for tomorrow's game? What has the reception been? What has the fan base been like this week after 4 straight losses?
Guys, it's been a brutal week. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. 4 straight losses, like you're saying, Brian, and it's hard to spin that positive. 3 of the 4 of them have been one-score games if you really want to find a glass half empty or glass half full. But it's something that me and Brett were talking about in Oxford. It's just you're just in a really tough spot right now. And Sam Pittman, it's, as we know, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where I am right now here on this beautiful Friday, isn't exactly a place that you start getting back on the right track, guys.
Yeah, it's not exactly the rebound girlfriend or boyfriend or in a relationship. It's the tallest task. It's the toughest test in American sport. Texas passed it. Congratulations to them. Way to go, Sark. Way to go, Quinn Ewers. Ole Miss didn't. Last week it was on the road against Texas A&M, and others haven't. But it is that tough a test. And for the Razorbacks to lose these 4 in a row, and Ty, I promise you, I told you last weekend, and I'm telling my friends, and maybe the toughest spot to be in as a fan is we're close. At least when you're getting blasted, like in the Chad Morris years, like in the Matt Luke years, like in the Larry Porter years, you know, okay, we got to make wholesale changes. I don't think now's the time for wholesale and just 1 or 2 retail changes I would make. I think the Razorbacks have the players. They just have had no luck, no fortune.
It's horrible. I mean, for radio, and I root for the Hogs, man. I'm the unconventional sports radio person. Some say you're supposed to take yourself out of the equation. I mean, I'm a 5th generation. It's hard for me to just do that. So I've just been in agony. Like this last game in Oxford, as great as it was to see you and see Vaught Hemingway for the first time in 8 years, how that game concluded, where KJ Jefferson playing his final game potentially ever in Mississippi ends with a pick. I mean, it doesn't get worse than that for him or Arkansas fans, that just when they thought hope was there, light was out at the end of the tunnel, a big old rock crater just caved in on everybody, and unfortunately ended up 27-20.
And Ty, you know, a lot of Ole Miss fans were thinking, here we go, north end zone, driving it down, 27-20. They score. Sam Pittman's not playing for overtime. He's rolling the dice right down the middle of the crap table, and it's either going to be 27-26 or 28-27 Razorbacks. Everybody felt and sensed that, so the relief was there. And I'll tell you, Ty, in the Ole Miss locker room, the week before against LSU, it was VE Day. It was celebration. It was everything but a confetti cannon going off in the locker room against after the Arkansas game. It was just utter, man, survival. Get to open day. Got through those guys. Thank goodness don't have to see them again until next year in Fayetteville.
Ole Miss and Arkansas might be pound for pound the most competitive series in the SEC.
And fun.
And it's so, I mean, you can just be a casual college football fan, flick on your television Saturday night on the SEC network, and there you have a great football game. I know there were some turnovers in it that, again, Arkansas caused themselves, but that was a back-and-forth game, and just being in that stadium, you mentioned the sigh of relief. So, Brett, at one point in the second half, I was like, all right, this juju ain't working. I'm leaving the press box. I walked down with my brother and was sitting down with the rest of the Arkansas fans. Some Ole Miss fans were also in the section. And, like, the exact same theme that you just described in the Ole Miss locker room was how the fans that I was sitting next to the Ole Miss fans felt. It wasn't like the celebratory post-beat LSU's like, man, we just escaped with the win, and it's a win regardless. But no, I totally understand that because I watched it play out just at the fans' perspective too.
And the Razorbacks just can't get on that side of the win now face this tall task. I swear all week long we're going to do our official picks here in about 25, 30 minutes when we do our Friday football forecast. And I don't have the stones to go straight up upset. I'm not going to do that. I've just said, and I said it on Thursday on Jocks in the heart of a Tide country. With 8 minutes to play tomorrow, this is going to be uncomfortably close for Alabama. And if it's not, Ty, I'm scared it's a complete bottoming out for the Razorbacks.
I would say that you're probably spot on that, Brett. I think it's going to be a fourth quarter game, or it's going to be like tied up 28 heading into the fourth. I don't really see it in that 14-21 heading the fourth, or even like 10-14. I think it's going to be really tight or lopsided. Now, they laid an egg 2 weeks ago in Dallas, and that game ended up 34-22, but if you watch it, it was a lot worse than that. Alabama, we know, has the ability to get a fumble recovery and take it to the house, an interception, a pick six. I mean, this is a team, once they get their defensive touchdown, start to bust the game.
When the down breaks. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's too many SEC fans listening right now that know all about that and are on the wrong side. There's Alabama fans that are cheering, saying, yeah, Ty, you're exactly right. Once we get that pick
then they
six,
maul
it's
you.
over.
Then they hunt you down and maul you.
Yeah. And it's painful over the years, and hopefully I don't endure that in Tuscaloosa tomorrow, guys.
Ty, what is the depth like? What is the health update like for the secondary for Arkansas? You've been talking a lot. You've mentioned a couple of times the last couple of weeks about Jalen Braxton, the young cornerback. He left with an injury against Ole Miss. I think there's a couple other guys in the secondary that are a little banged up going into this weekend. What is the depth of the secondary like, and how much of a concern is that this weekend?
I think it's big. I mean, Burden, Bond, those guys, Alabama's always got speed at wide out, and this year's no different. Now, these guys aren't as good as, say, Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley, and on Amari Cooper, but they still have plays. And we're starting to see Jalen Milroe. He can start slinging a little bit, and that's a little worrisome if you're a secondary. You asked about Jalen Braxton. I don't think he's going to play on Saturday. I don't have any inside information. I'm just kind of reading how Sam Pittman is describing things. McLaughlin will play. He's been back at practice this week, the former LSU transfer. And then there's a couple other guys that are banged up on defense that I'm not expecting to be back. So they're not only are they limping in this game with 4 losses, they're limping in as a team because it has just been a rough 4-game stretch. I'll give Brett credit. Way back in the summer, he said, no, it's not a 4-game stretch. With BYU, it's a 5-game stretch, and he nailed it. He nailed it all the way back in the summer.
Yeah, and Ty, and now I'm ready to add next week, kind of in a survival pool game for Mississippi State. I'm ready to add that to it because State knows next week, whether it's with Mike Wright or Will Rogers, they've got to win that one. In Ty, we know in the Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas world, in the summertime, all the preseason predictions, I did as well. I did Ole Miss as much because it was at Vaught Hemingway. But in preseason predictions, I have State winning at Starkville Thanksgiving night because it's in Starkville. Next year when Arkansas goes to Fayetteville in summertime predictions, I'm going to pick Arkansas. But all the fans, most of the fans, all the State fans have that as a win for State. All the Arkansas fans have that as a win for the Razorbacks. And last week, Ole Miss and Arkansas fans did the same for their team. In any kind of 8-4 math, 9-3 math, you got to feast on your neighbors.
Yeah, and it's the M schools. It's Missouri, it's Ole Miss, and Mississippi State. If you're 2-1 or 3-0 against those guys, you're going to be good. And that's Arkansas's everyday opponents for Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Arkansas, and vice versa for Ole Miss. For Mississippi State, it's Ole Miss and Arkansas. So it's those are, again, the neighbor aspect. There's a lot of similarities, I think, with what goes down in Oxford and Fayetteville and Starkville in terms of their football programs. You're always fighting uphill against LSU and Alabama, to a certain extent Auburn when they're rolling. So I think that's a really accurate portrayal. And Ole Miss has the advantage right now. I mean, Mississippi State and Arkansas are the bottom dwellers. Ole Miss with only one loss. They've looked to be a team that if they get some luck to go their way, like at Alabama, like 2 losses to Alabama, I don't think one's going to happen this weekend, but maybe they somehow sneak in. I know they've still got some big games on the schedule the rest of the way. A&M, you already got the win against LSU. So, I mean, the West, people just think the West is done. Alabama could still slip up once, maybe even twice, and then we're really going to be asking some questions about who's ended up in Atlanta.
Ty, I swear, I didn't Monday on these airwaves. I haven't privately to anyone. I don't have a big criticism of the Razorbacks. The personnel is not that indifferent, those teams we just talked about. I don't think the coaching is, except for this. I do think, once again, we are learning. It can be done. It is really hard for a first-time head coach to do it in the SEC.
Yeah, and I think that when Sam Pittman got hired, there's a lot of people excitement. Then he takes you to 9 wins. It's like, holy cow, this is going to work. Well, people forgot that they had I can't remember the exact number of super seniors, but because of COVID and a bunch of weird variables going into that, you had a quarterback that was teamed up with an All-American type wide receiver, Traylon Burks, and a strong running game. And that was the best offensive line, at least at head coach, that he's been since arriving in Arkansas. And you transition now to the worst, not just that he's had while being the head coach, but since he's been at Arkansas, if you add those 2 or 3 years with him as the offensive line coach. So it's been a kind of weird early start, high point, and then it's pretty low. It's as low as it's ever been right now. And like you said, Brett, I mean, this league spits up and chews up even the most competitive guys just because of how fearsome and gruesome it is.
I've said, Bryant can attest, I've said it's win or die. Oh, yeah. I don't mean that literally, and I know things are more important. Of course I know that. But to be around your friends, to be around all those Razorback fans that were in the Grove Saturday, to be around all those Ole Miss fans that will go to Starkville, to be around all those Ole Miss fans last year at the hotel before and after in Fayetteville, the agony of defeat, and it's only growing because we see so many other teams out there like TCU having that kind of year. I said last year in the middle of it that the TCU run last year will get more fans wanting to fire the coach and be upset than anything that's happened because they're all going to say, if TCU did it, why can't we? Fill in the blank from all those teams.
Yeah, and Dykes, they got on a roll, and it was fun to watch. To what they were able to do this last season. Even the college football playoff when it gets Michigan. It's like, all right, the run's going to stop here. Yeah, they beat a really quality Michigan team. So that the transfer portal, NIL, and then you combine that with, again, TCU's first-year run under Dykes, that has upped the ante of college football coaches' expectation higher than it's ever been. Like you're kind of alluding to it. Used to, you get 4 or 5 years to kind of get your guys in and start rolling. Now it's like, and it's kind of shrunk down to like 2 or 3. Now it's like, you better have some solid wins in year 1.
Sure better.
And that's not fair, but college football salaries aren't fair either. So if you're going as a head coach, you can't criticize expectations of your program of you specifically, and then at the same time accept near $10 million a year. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
That's it. Ty Richardson from ESPN Radio with us. He's with us every Friday, and we so appreciate it. And it was so great to see you, and I'm glad everybody had such fun. That perfect transition to basketball. Chris Beard's going to run into that this year and for sure year 2. It's going to be, you get some scalps on the wall, you get some wins, you get some NCAA tournaments, because Dennis Gates did it year 1 at Mizzou. Chris Jans did it year 1 at Mississippi State. Ole Miss basketball fans should and will be expecting that. And with that, maybe the most together guy in college sports is Eric Musselman. To see Eric and Danielle in the Grove, going as strangers from tent to tent. He knew a lot of people. He's got a lot of friends in this area from his days with the Grizzlies, and they were everywhere. It was so good to visit with him. He really does get it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's tremendous at that aspect of the socialization of fan bases, and not just Arkansas fans.
And Danielle,
Grizzlies. Too. Yeah, and he knows, let's be honest, he knows Memphis, kind of old man like that. It's a hotbed for recruiting. Yeah. And I heard we're on Memphis Sports Talk Radio right now. I heard Penny Hardaway earlier this week on a Tuesday talking about trying to talk with Muss about a Memphis-Arkansas series and game. Push it. I'm in. Sign me up.
Fayetteville FedEx Forum. That's where we want it.
Home and home. No, and listen, I love Little Rock. I'm a Little Rock guy. I don't want that game to be in Simmons Bank Arena. I want it to be, like you said, in Bud Walton, in FedEx Forum. Sign me up, Brian. I just heard you too. Sounds like you're for that as well.
I'm all in. If we can get that back, I'd be all for
anywhere.
It. Oh yeah, anytime, anywhere. Give it to me. But Ty, I am curious. On the football stance again, I've got plenty of basketball questions, don't you worry. But we talked a lot last week about the offensive line and the changes that were going to be made going into that Ole Miss week. You talked about it. What did you think of those changes, and what did you see from the offensive line Saturday night against Ole Miss, and what do you think about the offensive line going in to this weekend's game against Alabama?
I don't know how you can feel good. No. They tried to switch things up, and it didn't work. So they switched it back. And I feel bad for Patrick Kudus. He's playing an hour and a half of where he's from here in Memphis, and it just didn't – it wasn't his night at center. It just hasn't necessarily been – he's a young kid. Hopefully he gets better because they really like his potential. But they're in a world of hurt right now, and Sam kind of addressed it earlier this week about what they're trying to do differently. This is just such an anomaly for him. I don't even think he knows how to handle it, to be quite honest, because I legitimately don't think, since he has coached in the SEC, and I'd have to go back and look at every team, every statistic, but I think he'd tell you privately that this is probably the worst SEC offensive line he's had. And I don't even know if it's close, guys. So, again, you're hoping for some optimistic things to happen in the next 6 games, but you'd be hard-pressed to find them starting in Tuscaloosa, Alabama here.
Ty, I know what I've listened to on y'all stations and on other statewide radio shows. I've dipped in and listened some this week, both because I'm interested and also because of the reaction. I know the unfairest thing, and that's the shots at him and his weight. That's beyond the pale. What has been the fairest criticism of Sam Pittman?
I think it's the one-score game. They've been there. Brett, you started out the interview like this. They've been close. You've
just
had 3. Yeah. It's LSU, Ole Miss, and BYU all decided by one score, 17 points total. They've been close in these games. Very similar to Brett Bielema, who was in a lot of close games.
Who was 21-21 after 42 as well.
Yeah. And so again, those are similarities. And I think that is like when you are pushing against Sam Pittman, there's pros for him, and I can list a few, but that is, I think, the fairest and easiest way to criticize them is, listen, that it comes down when you're that tight and that close to games. Those are coaching issues to a certain degree, and there have been
on the field.
Yeah, there have been games, guys, where he's been out-coached, plain and simple. And I mean, these are coming from football minds that are a lot smarter than me, just kind of spouting off here on a Friday. Like you talked to, you got coached, out-coached here, out-coached in this situation, and at Arkansas, you always have to be the out-coacher. Like, you got to be the coach because you have less players, that you've got to have a leg up on the other guy because of that situation you often find yourself in with a less talent pool in Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Talking to Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas. All right, Ty, I've got to ask a basketball question. I know Brett already got one in. I've got to ask you one before we get you out of here. So last week I asked you about all of the transfers that came in. I'm very excited about seeing a lot of these guys, a lot of them coming from AAC teams, so we're very familiar with them here in Memphis. But when you talk about returning players, who do you feel like has to be the guy, not only in the locker room, but on the court, out of this group of returnings that is going to be the difference maker this year?
I mean, I think it has to be Mekhi Mitchell. I think a lot of people would say Devo Davis, 4-year player, Jacksonville, Arkansas, not too far from Memphis, Tennessee. And that's a fair listen. I'm not going to push back on that. I love Devo. The play he had against Kansas last year is unbelievable. But Mekhi Mitchell's their biggest guy. Mekhi Mitchell has played a lot of college basketball minutes. His twin brother, Mikal, is now down at Arkansas Little Rock. And if they lose him, they don't have any beat. Bay Fall's a young freshman they brought in from Denver. He's a stick. While he's talented, a young talented player, he's a stick. Mm-hmm. Jalen Graham's more of an offensive guy. You got a couple like fours, including Chandler Lawson, who at one point played at Memphis. They brought in a kid from Southern Miss whose name's escaping me at the moment. But there's a couple American athletic connections, like you're saying. But it's Mekhi Mitchell for me because I feel like if they lose him, they are going to get pounded inside, similar as their offensive line has been in football this year.
A good connection there by you, Ty. But, Ty, thanks so much for joining us. Obviously, a big game tomorrow for Arkansas as they'll be down in Tuscaloosa. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next week.
And Ty, working on – Bryant and I need that 4 at midcourt for Duke, Arkansas, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You're working on that, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Hey, guys, I'm on it. I'm absolutely on
it. Thank you, Ty.
Thank you.
I've got to be able to do that.
I knew we could rely on you.
We love the effort. Be safe and enjoy. I know it's an early game tomorrow morning, which is rare for Razorbacks and the Tide in Tuscaloosa, but enjoy as much as you can, Ty.
Oh, I think I'll find a way to. Even if we lose, I will fall in love with probably a sweet Alabama woman this weekend, as I did in Oxford last week.
Seems to be a trend there,
Go
Ty.
to the houndstooth and just be willing to fall in love. That's all you got to do. Thank you, Ty.
Thanks, Ty.
You got it, guys.
Ty Richardson with us from ESPN Arkansas, and it is one of the tougher tasks in all of sports when things are going well.
Yeah.
But try going to Bryant-Denny and playing a Nick Saban, going for that 200th win that I talked about yesterday. Mm-hmm. Go down there and do that. And when you need a win as desperately as Sam Pittman's ever needed one. Now, I didn't because I didn't want to bore in, but when Ty said as worse as it's ever been, I don't think this is the bottom that the end of Bielema and the entire Chad Morris years had, but I don't know if they can take much more.
That's a good point. I think it's a lot of the can't take much more. I think it's a lot of the you felt like over the last 2 years you kind of got over that hump and you're starting to see kind of that sunshine and positivity, and then it's kind of like this and you have this stretch where you lose 4 in a row. It's tough.
Darn sports. Boy, you just can't win enough. Ty Richardson, our prior guest, he's headed down to great barbecue country. That's good barbecue country. Uh-huh. We live in the barbecue capital of the world here in Memphis, and so many great places to get it. But two of my favorites, and I was out there earlier in the week at the Collierville Commissary, and we chowed down. You can go there at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. And Walker Taylor told me it's the official start. The Holiday Bird. Get on the list now for the Holiday Bird for the Thanksgiving holidays. You better get on it now. for the Christmas holidays, call 901-754-5540. Let them do all the work. You literally just have to put out the plates. They'll take care of everything. If they even have that, but they'll take care of everything. You know, somebody has to work so hard every year around Thanksgiving. They would appreciate if you just took that load off, but him or her, whoever's doing it, all that great food out there. And we know it's a staple around here of Memphis-style barbecue and ribs done the Memphis slow-cooked way. And if you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary right now to 33733. Start with all the appetizers. You can make a meal out of those, and we practically did the other day. I think we had a whole table of appetizers. Have the tamales, have the cheese plate, have the smoked chicken wings, the barbecue nachos created in the early 80s by Walker Taylor and his staff at the Germantown Commissary, where it all started over 42 years ago for Walker and his team. Dig into the ribs or the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich, all the sides, all the desserts like lemon icebox pie, banana pudding, strawberry cake. Here's the number again, 901-754-5540, or go online at commissarybbq.com. They're in Collierville and Germantown, those party areas this weekend. So many people can go there and enjoy the games, orders to go, catering, tailgating, and the holiday bird. Do it right at the commissary for all the holidays and all the festivities at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown.
Well, and like you said, I mean, it's so tough for Arkansas, and especially this 4-game, now 5-game stretch. And Ty, I mean, made a great point because you have been talking a long time about this, and this not only being a 4-game stretch of tough games for Arkansas, but you add in BYU in that 5th game, and it just. And I think coming into the year, I think if Arkansas had won that game against BYU, it would be a different sense of emotion in Arkansas, because it would have been, you're 0-3 in SEC, but those are 3 really tough SEC opponents. But I think it's that loss against BYU that is really kind of putting them over the edge.
Well, what if you have that BYU win, you pull it out in Baton Rouge, then that 12-point loss in Dallas could be very different.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of ifs and
buts.
Sure,
absolutely.
I know that, but it's how fragile it is, and just to get some confidence for your fans. And this is putting more pressure on Eric Musselman.
Absolutely.
All joking aside.
Absolutely.
When football kind of gets off the rails, all right, give me something in basketball.
Oh, absolutely.
That's human nature.
Yes, and so you're going to see that. And if it's kind of a slow, rocky start for Arkansas basketball, I mean, there's going to be a lot of upset people.
Don't lose by Duke at home. Don't lose to Duke at home.
Absolutely not. So you're absolutely right about that, and I'm so excited. We've got basketball season coming up very, very, very soon. But I got to tell you about Hewlett and Dunn Boot and Jean. They're with us every single afternoon at 5 o'clock, located on the historic square in Collierville since 1961. Charles Hall started working there in his teens, and now with his wife Laura, they own the place, known for all the boots, but also clothing, accessories, and a cap for any team in any season. Western wear, work boots, safety toe, soft toe, even rubber boots for every single occasion at Hewlett and Dunn. Also, from head to toe, they've got you covered with every brand imaginable, like Ariat, Dan Post, Anderson Bean, whether for men or women. Men's and women's clothing like jeans, pants, shirts, shorts, outerwear, and the best duck head collection you'll find. Charles and Laura Hall invite you to 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville, or to HewlettDunn.com. They've also got the accessories, so they have you covered literally from head to toe. Not just clothing, not just boots, but also the accessories, hats, sunglasses, boot care products in every area, team snapback, and cool hats that you can think of. Whether it be the Tigers, Mississippi State, UT, Ole Miss, or the Razorbacks, and their travel bag selection is top notch. HewlettDunn.com, but please head out to Collierville, give them a visit, and say hello at 111 Center Street on the square in Collierville at Hewlett and Dunn. Let's go ahead and get to a break, because when we come back, we've got to make picks. It's time for our First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Country music singer-songwriter Kylie Morgan loves her ring from Genesis Diamonds.
I wanted something simple and with the stone that I loved, and that's exactly what he got. And then we dressed it up a little bit with the wedding bands, got a little firework action looking around it, and he definitely killed it when it came to choosing the ring.
Kylie's then-fiancé Jay did a lot of research, but chose Genesis because of the reputation, the quality, the personal service, and of course, the value.
Any man can walk through that door and know that, he's not going to be upsold or pressured to buy anything.
Kylie ended up writing a collection of songs about her bridal experience, including the viral sensation Bridesmaids.
I had at least 1,000 DMs asking from future brides where I got my ring, who I worked with because of the viral song. I think everyone kind of just looked at me as the person to ask.
And Kylie's advice to all those girls?
Go to Genesis. It's been a great experience, and they'll take care of you.
Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 27 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combo of ranch seasoning with a little kick. Mango Habanero, sweet taste of mango followed by the heat. Or sweet maple bourbon, the taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. And that's just 3 of the amazing 27 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. And now open the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the $9.99 lunch special. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 2 locations, 7199 Highway 64 between Aplin and Kirby Whitten, and 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV, $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500 G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015-137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Real estate isn't something you purchase or develop or desire. It's something you appreciate, respect, and know. With real estate, there's no gray area. You either know it or you don't. First National Bank and Trust, a proud division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. They've known it since their beginning in 1886. Clients depend on First National Bank because they know real estate. Brooks Winchester, Bill Samish, and many more can assist you in your acquisition of that hunting land, farmland, a construction project. Let First National Bank and Trust make your dreams a reality. 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard, Suite 140 in Memphis, 901-498-5763, or the office in Collierville, or online at fnbtmemphis.com. For commercial real estate, residential construction, or recreational and agriculture financing, let First National Bank and Trust help you. They're a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, where I have had an account, been a friend, and been a customer my entire life.
Well, Bryant, we are closing in to kickoff for the Tigers. I'm getting that good kind of nervous about that feeling about this big game coming up. Tulane, a 4.5-point favorite over the Tigers. All-time, Memphis leads this series 24-14-1. In Memphis, all-time, it's 15-2. Tulane with 3 Liberty Bowl appearances. They won in 1970 over Colorado. They lost in 1979 on a cold, rainy day to Penn State. I was there, and then I was there in 1998 when they closed out an undefeated season with Sean King at quarterback with a win over BYU. Tulane ranked 9th in FBS rushing defense. I think this game's going to be won at the line of scrimmage. It's on ESPN. Tulane's a 4.5-point favorite, and the Tigers win it 24-23.
I'm also going to take the Tigers in this one. I mean, you're giving me 4.5 at home as a dog. I mean, we've seen this over the last 3 or 4 years, probably longer than that, 5 or 6 years, where the Tigers have been extremely successful at home at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium.
They've established
They
it.
really have. And so I think this is going to be a big game. Both teams coming off an off week. But I like the Tigers in this one. Really got to try to establish the run early. I think that's the biggest test. We know how good that Tulane defense is against the run. So try to establish that run early and try to pick apart this defense with the pass. And if you can establish that run, that just opens up the passing offense and vice versa.
Always does.
I think the Tigers have a really good shot at this one. And like we've said, winner of this one is in the driver's seat for the American. And so I've got the Tigers tonight.
Yeah, the winner of that one can really start dreaming some big things. All that good stuff that Tulane was a part of last year and the Tigers were a part of in 2019. Tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, ESPN, Alabama, 20.5-point favorite over Arkansas. 16 straight for the Tide over Arkansas. The only West team to never not get a win over Coach Nick Saban is Arkansas. 839, the all-time win percentage at Bryant-Denny Stadium for Alabama. First time since 1925. 1925, Arkansas having to play their first 4 conference games on the road. Not either in Little Rock or Fayetteville. I know Arlington was neutral, but it wasn't neutral. First time since 1925. 11 o'clock on ESPN, Bama, 20.5-point favorite. Coach Nick Saban going for that win number 200. I've got Alabama winning, but I think it's very close. Uncomfortably close late, as we talked about with Ty just a little bit ago. For Alabama fans, they're not even used to that.
No,
they're used to fourth quarter being letting the celebration and the party begin. 27-17, Tide wins over Arkansas, uncomfortably late for Alabama at home at Bryant-Denny Stadium. I think homecoming for Alabama.
Is it really? I'm also going to take Arkansas.
I know homecoming for Alabama. My Alabama nephew grad and his wife and kids are going.
Good for them. I'm going to go with Arkansas in this one as well. I mean, 20.5. I mean, we're talking 3 touchdowns in this one, and I think the biggest thing in this is we've talked about, and we just talked to Ty Richardson about of the 3 of these 4 losses have been by a touchdown or fewer. And I think that's huge. I know Arkansas fans are upset about the losses, but it's huge. These games are close. I think if you can get KJ Jefferson working early, if you can get Rocket Sanders working early, I think it would be very, very difficult for Alabama to win this game by 3 touchdowns or more. And that sounds crazy to say because it is Alabama, but I'll take Arkansas on this one.
I will not be stunned if it's a straight-up Arkansas win.
Wow.
I will not be stunned if it's Bama 38-0.
I was just about to say, I'm sitting here saying all this about I don't think Alabama, and it's Alabama. They can very easily beat an opponent by 3 touchdowns.
Well, they can. They have a way to do that, especially if they start getting those turnovers, and we talked about with Ty when they just start to maul you. 2:30 on CPS, up on Rocky Top. Tennessee, 3.5-point favorite over the Texas Aggies. Only the 5th meeting ever, 1957 in Jacksonville at the Gator Bowl. After the 2004 season at the Cotton Bowl, 2016 in College Station, and 2020 at Neyland. 2-2 with both Aggies wins as a part of the SEC. In that 57 Gator Bowl, it was Bear Bryant as coach of Texas A&M and Bowden White as the coach at Tennessee.
Wow.
Not tomorrow. Josh Heupel versus Jimbo Fisher. Tennessee, a 3.5-point favorite on CBS. Give me Tennessee 20-13. They win and they cover.
I'm going to try to go to the well again with Texas A&M. I went to the well last week. I'm sure I went to the well the week before, but I'm going to try to go back again. I love this defense. I still do, and against Alabama, I know they really struggled, but I shouldn't say really struggled. I mean, that was a close game, but I'm going to go back to the well against Tennessee. Maybe they can get some pressure on Joe Milton and be more effective. I know they love getting in the backfield, and so that could definitely shake Joe Milton, who we already talked about really before the season started, accuracy concerns with him with that deep ball. So I'm going to go Texas A&M. I think it's going to be a great game, but I'll go with the Aggies.
Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock on ESPN. LSU, an 11.5-point favorite at home at Death Valley at Tiger Stadium over the Auburn Tigers. Tigers versus Tigers. LSU leads all-time 32-24 with 1 tie. Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, the top receiving duo in the SEC. 49 career starts at quarterback for Jaden Daniels somewhere in college football. That's third among active FBS quarterbacks. Bo Nix with 52 and Sam Hartman with 52, and then Jaden Daniels at 49. Hugh Freeze, 0-3 all-time as head coach in Death Valley. He lost in 2012 at Ole Miss because of an Odell Beckham punt return. He lost in 2014, 10-7, on the day after Coach Les Miles' mother passed away, and they were very motivated by that. And then Ole Miss lost in 2016, and Leonard Fournette is still running.
Sure is. He's still going.
294 and counting.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still going. LSU minus 11.5. You pick first, Bryant.
I'm going to go with LSU in this one. Last week, a very close game, if you watched it, against Missouri. I mean, coming down the stretch, a tied game late in the fourth quarter. And, Brett, the final score was a 10-point differential between LSU and Missouri. That just shows how dynamic this offense is and defense, because a big pick six there for LSU's defense. It shows you how fast this LSU team can strike. I think Auburn is going to be a really good team in a year or two. I just don't know if they're there yet. I really like this LSU team, despite that loss a couple weeks ago to Ole Miss, and I think that loss shows how good this offense is for LSU. So I'm going to take LSU. I know it's a big number, but I'll take them minus the 11.
A lot of agreement here. We've made 4 picks. We've agreed 3 times, 3 group locks this year in college football. When we agree, we're 6-6. In the NFL, we're 4-7, so 10-13 overall. Tomorrow night on NBC, a great one. Notre Dame minus 3.5 over USC, 94th SC and Notre Dame game. 4 straight over SC at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's won 4 straight there. Brady Quinn and Matt Leinart on Big Noon, 2 great quarterbacks for both schools. First 6 games last year, Caleb Williams, he had 14 touchdowns. This year he's got 22. How come we're not wanting to vote for him for back-to-back?
That's a good question.
I mean, this is a really good matchup. Notre Dame minus 3.5 over USC. Your pick, Bryant.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I really like this Notre Dame
Me
team.
too.
I know
Too
they
much
lost.
agreement.
Wow, too much agreement. But I just don't trust USC's defense, and until they show me that I can trust them, I just have to pick against them.
Your college football lock and shock.
My lock is going to be Kansas minus 3.5 over Oklahoma State. I saw the report, I think it came out yesterday, that Jalen Daniels will be back for Kansas, and that offense just looks completely different with him at quarterback. So I'll take them minus 3.5 over Oklahoma State. BYU is going to be my shock, plus 6.5 over TCU tomorrow. TCU comes into this one with back-to-back losses in conference play against Iowa State and against, who's that first one? West Virginia.
And a banged-up quarterback situation.
So I'm going to go with BYU, 4-1 BYU team, getting plus 6.5.
My college football lock, I'm going to lay the 3.5 and barely get there. 24-20 Oregon State over UCLA minus 3.5. And I'm going to take my shock. I'm going to stay out in the pack, and I'm going to take Cal plus the 12.5 straight up at Utah.
Oh, wow.
For Cal. NFL on Sunday morning. It gets started early again in London with Baltimore 4.5-point favorite over Tennessee. That's on NFL Network, again at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 13-13 all-time. These teams played in Memphis back in 97 when the Tennessee Oilers were here on September 21st, 1997. Wow. Guess the crowd. We always talk crowds here. Guess the crowd that day.
For preseason NFL?
No. Regular season.
Oh, regular season. Oh, yes.
Tennessee
Regular
Oilers.
season. Excuse me. 47.
That's why Bud Adams got mad at us. 737.
All right.
17737, a 36-10 Ravens win that day. Give me the Titans Sunday morning plus 4.5.
I'm going to go with Baltimore in this one. I don't know about Tennessee yet. Going across the pond, I actually might have changed my pick. I don't want to give out too much, but after what Bruce Marshall said, he said he didn't think it would really matter that much. But what he said about Baltimore going over there earlier this time around, I think that might help them a lot. I'll take them minus 4.5.
Noon on CBS, Jacksonville minus 4.5 over Indianapolis. AFC South battle, you pick first.
I'm going to go with the Jaguars in this. We've already seen this game play out once this season, and the Colts got a win. So I'm going to think that the Jaguars are going to want blood. And Jacksonville won that game earlier this week, but the Colts kept it close. And I'm going to go with the Jaguars to do the same thing again.
I'm with you. I take Jacksonville at home. Noon on Fox. San Francisco on the road after the big win over Dallas last week, but they're laying the 7.5. Road favorite 7.5 at Cleveland. Give me an NFL team plus 7.5. Give me Cleveland.
I'm still scarred from what the Cowboys did last week against San Francisco, so I'm going to have to take San Francisco minus 7.5.
You lay all those points on the road. 325 on Fox. Detroit minus 3.5 at Tampa Bay. This is one of the really good games of the weekend. Detroit leads all time 31-29. They first played in 1977. The starting quarterbacks that day for the Buccaneers, I have no clue who this guy was. I looked it up. Jeb Blunt at quarterback for Tampa Bay, and the quarterback for the Lions that day, we see him all over TV. Gary Danielson.
Wow.
Detroit minus 3.5. Give me the Lions in 2023 on Sunday afternoon on Fox.
Baker was off last week. He was at Red River last weekend and led Oklahoma to a victory while not even playing a snap. I think he's going to lead Tampa Bay to a victory this weekend against Detroit. I'll take the Buccaneers.
You take Tampa Bay. Sunday night football?
You want me to pick first? Yeah. So Sunday night football, we got the Buffalo against the Giants. Buffalo, a 14.5-point favorite in that game Sunday night. A big line. I'm going to take Buffalo in this one. Despite the 14.5-point spread at home, I'll take Buffalo. I've seen reports. I saw them yesterday. I'm seeing them again today. How much the injuries with the Giants? They're completely banged up. Going to be missing a lot of guys. Daniel Jones, Darren Waller, both out. I think they're missing a couple offensive linemen as well. So I'll take the Bills in this one.
I'm going to take the Giants just because of all those points.
A lot of points.
And they once met in a very famous Super Bowl. My NFL lock, Atlanta minus 2.5 over Washington. My NFL shock, Houston plus 1.5 over New Orleans. I'm just trying to get that extra point in that low point spread game. You're locking shock from the NFL, Brian.
Well, we're simpatico on our shock. I'm also taking the Texans plus 1.5. How about that? Texans plus 1.5 over the Saints. My lock, I'm going to go with Atlanta minus 2.5 over Washington.
Same thing.
Yeah,
we got the same thing.
How about that? So exactly the same. And I like both of those a lot.
That is rare when we do this. That's our Friday football forecast brought to you every week by First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Stable, secure, reliable, consistent, and so solid through the years. And for anything you need in agriculture, they have it. for real estate, commercial, ag, hunting, recreational. Contact them at fnbt.com or call them at 901-498-5763, now in West Tennessee, with offices on Ridge Lake Boulevard and the office in Collierville.
Well, we're counting down the minutes to Memphis and Tulane, 6 o'clock tip on ESPN tonight. I know a lot of people already out there, probably already in the stadium, getting ready for that one. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. And when we come back, we'll wrap up today's show. We'll wrap up this week with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Check, check. You might already know about the Acura MDX. V6 engine, seat 7. We have an announcement. We swapped that engine with a specially made 3-liter turbo V6, race-tuned the steering and suspension, and for the first time, added Type S performance to an SUV. So we're just gonna drop this right here. The Acura MDX and first ever MDX Type S. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Visit Acura of Memphis to learn more about the Acura MDX and the MDX Type S.
What do you get when you have a dream, a beer, and a business plan? Meddlesome Brewing. Meddlesome's classic ales and lagers capture the true Memphis spirit. Strong, tenacious, and unforgettable. Meddlesome captures true Memphis spirit as well with community events including Ska-toberfest, Saturday, October 14th, with plenty of bands and plenty of brews like Memphis Style and 201 Hopler. Meddlesome Brewing on Trinity in Cordova, just east of Shelby Farms. On tap and canned packages. Meddlesome Brewing. Never settle, always metal.
Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo, Saturday, October 21st, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications and interviewing candidates on site. Salary starting at $54,611, increasing to $60,713 after probation. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Hey, Mid-South, you looking for a new ride that'll save you some big bucks? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. A new ride that boosts 41 mpg highway and 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $229 a month, $29.99 to its signing. How about 2023 Nero EV Wind SUV? 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 to its signing. And 2023 Kia EV6 Wind. Get up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 to its signing. Plus a free charger with your EV purchase. All 36-month leases and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE 678 6055, MSRP 21610, Nero P501 7859, MSRP 41090, EV6 P501 7859, MSRP 49687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Once again, here are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is that Travis Hunter is reportedly expected to play tonight against Stanford. He's been out for a couple of weeks after that hit against Colorado State, but it sounds like, from the reporting I've heard this morning, is that they're going to monitor him and keep an eye on him today during the day. They'll let him go out and warm up, see where he's at, but it sounds like he's going to play. And Deion Sanders said there's not going to be a pitch count on him tonight, that it's full go if he's able able to play. So I'm really excited to see him back on the field. Hopefully everything goes good, and we'll be able to see him back out there tonight against Stanford.
That game is late tonight after the Tigers game, and he may be the most exciting player in all of college football. What I learned, Tulane with a 6-game road win streak. Georgia has the longest in the country on the road. That's 12. It'll be 13 after tomorrow at Vandy. Georgia hadn't lost in Nashville since 2013. Hard to believe it's been that soon. And before that, 1991, no chance for the Doors tomorrow.
No, unfortunately, anchored down, but no chance. What I could have done without the Hector Gomez report. Hector Gomez, for people who don't know, he's from the Dominican Republic and covers a lot of baseball down there and with players here in America that are from the Dominican Republic. He tweeted earlier this morning, breaking news, armed men broke into the St. Louis Cardinals Academy in the Dominican Republic, taking the players out of their rooms and holding coaches hostage at gunpoint. They robbed money and jewelry from various players. In the past few weeks, the Cleveland Guardians and the Miami Marlins have also been robbed by armed men. He also said in recent years this has happened, but they've usually just taken baseball equipment, but this time they've been going for money and for jewelry, stuff like that. Really sad to see that these teams that really have good things going in countries like the Dominican Republic, that it's starting to get a little scary down there for those players and coaches.
That is frightening. I could have done without it. Are we really still talking about George Kittle's stupid T-shirt?
It's been a week, Brett.
Please move on. Now he's fine. Please move on. Of course, goofball punter is chief agitator in a lot of this. I'm glad he's on game day. Actually, I am.
Okay.
I was looking for an exit door for a long time on game day, and he just made me get to it even faster. I'm not totally Big Noon, but I'm more team Big Noon than I am game day.
Big Noon is really good. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to Seattle for this weekend for Seattle, and also bright and early in a few hours when the game day crew will be on the set.
Oh, yeah.
Seattle for UW versus the Ducks. College football classic matchup. Bodacious versus Mr. Steady. The idea of Bo Nix winning a Heisman Trophy almost makes me ill. Go UW and go Michael Penix.
Yeah, I'm going to beam to Memphis, only a couple minutes away from Memphis versus Tulane.
You have to literally beam over there.
That's what I'm saying. Beam me past the traffic. Beam me to my seats at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Should be a great game tonight on ESPN between Tulane and Memphis.
Arkansas at Bama bright and early. Arkansas can't give them anything or they'll get embarrassed. If they play turnover free, they can stay close. Cal at Utah, Tigers we talked about. Also Tigers and SC at Touchdown Jesus.
It should be a fun weekend, not just the college football, the NFL, baseball. We're in the conference series, hockey, basketball continuing to roll right along. So it should be a great weekend. If you're still making your way to the game that's about to kick off in a couple of minutes, be safe getting there. Have fun at the game tonight. That's all the time we have. We'll talk to you again on Monday.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even new keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws. You need it, East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Quince and White Station.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll find only spectacular natural diamonds that will remain treasured for generations. That promise is now symbolized by the engraved Sissy signature and sapphire, representing our guarantee of extraordinary service, selection, experience, and quality. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience the Sissy's promise for yourself. Find a jeweler for a lifetime, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
I'm with John Virgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253D.